Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the street.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afrodamus Report. I'm your host, Afrodamus. I want to welcome all of you to today's edition of the Afrodamus Report. I see St. James in the house, Winston, Javier. I want to say hello to all of you, and please make sure you hit the like, guys. Hold on, let me change that look real quick so I can familiarize you with the normal. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit the like and share the video. And you know, before I start the show, I want to say this. You know, one thing about me, because I've seen people who they write comments, they get offended, they are pissed off, they get triggered. I know there is somebody somewhere who's watching me, who hate seeing me on the internet. In fact, you hate hearing my voice, but yet you will continue to listen. And I have no issues with that. But like I said, the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free. And I'm sure many of you have heard this Black Americans versus African thing. It is silly. Here's the thing. Most of the Africans, for instance, that live on the continent of Africa, how do they view Black American? It's in a positive light. Let's just be real. All these division things that you hear about, this is here in America. But I've been doing some thinking. And I'm like, wait a minute. You know, the blacks, their ancestors, they were taken from West Africa, right? Central Africa, many different parts of Africa. This is way, way before you and I were ever alive. So let's just agree, right? It's fair to say you, me, and everybody, we didn't get to dictate which era we were born in or what side of the Atlantic we were born in, you know, what family we were born in. We didn't have any control over that. All of us, we are dealt a different hand in life. And there's a reason why whoever, whatever situation or wherever you were born, there's a reason why that card was handed to you. Because I was thinking, like, in Africa, especially West Africa, where I'm from, there are people who they're like, oh man, I wish my ancestors were put on that slave ship so I would be born in America. You see? But if you've never been to America, you would not know how flawed that judgment is, because they are looking at Black Americans in an advantageous position. Yes, they are in the richest country. Material wise, the United States is at the top. But now, what's up here in your mindset? How do you feel about yourself? Your self esteem. I was thinking, I said, what if, guys, just bear with me, because you see, life is all about evolution, right? You evolve. This slavery thing, this has been going on for a long time. Africans are not the only people that were enslaved. Let's just be real. But again, remember this. I don't have control over what happened already or what is even to come. Neither do you. We can go back and turn the clock. You didn't decide where you were going to be born. So, hey, you found yourself in this. So now, what would you make of it? That's what it comes down to. That's what it definitely comes down to. But there are people who are now, they use the narrative. I'm sure most of you that are watching me, if you are African, you've heard this. And the reason why I'm bringing this conversation today, you know, it is ridiculous for people who think because I've seen it in arguments, in debates on YouTube, where you have these very, very sensitive Black Americans whose ancestors were brought here as slaves into America, even though they want to deny that they were brought from Africa. They try to dissociate themselves from slavery. I have seen that. I have seen also in conversations, like people from my country, even when people are speaking, they would say, I am not of a slave blood. So we all can agree, when people start bringing slavery, for most people who don't understand who they are as a people, it creates, like a sense of less than, because your material thing that can never cure how you feel about yourself. I hope you people know this. The material can never fulfill that void about how you feel about yourself. And I'll tell you right now, America is a completely different ball game. When they say the new world, these people are living up to this. They are living up to it. So what they do here, because think about it, the Blacks in America, they are not the only people whose ancestors were taken from the shores of West and Central Africa. There's people in Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti. But ask yourself, how come those people, and in fact, their slavery was way more brutal, how come they are not as broken? How come they don't try to use their ancestors' faith, which brought them onto those islands today, How come they don't use that as a disadvantage to try to shame you? You see this in mainland USA. The blacks in America are completely broken. I'm not saying all, but I would say 80%. 80%. Like they exist in this illusion. They have like a delusion of grandeur where they feel like they are so important, you know. And people don't understand this until you really truly come to America and start interacting. You start interacting and you start seeing a people that you were very happy to see, you were proud of. But all you saw was a facade. You realize these people are in deep trouble. These are Africans who were turned inside out completely. Completely. This is why they would try to shame you. They would try to, make themselves feel important. And then you start becoming confused. You're like, wait a minute. What did I do to these people? You don't understand it. But you have to take the time and listen. You have to. Don't take it personal. You see? And because you're like, no, this person is completely confused. There's no individual accountability. Because they will tell you things like, oh, you Africans sold us. That is their way of trying to shut you down because they don't want to face reality. Because if you notice, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. When, like a white person, because the truth doesn't have color, guys. I'll tell you this right now. The truth does not have color. I don't have to be a white person to know that, if you're white, you commit a murder, for me to know that, no, sir, that is absolutely wrong. I don't have to be white to know that Jeffrey Dahmer is a sick person. Do I? I don't have to be German to know that Hitler was wrong, in his pursuit. But only when it comes to black people, they will say things like, man, you're in black. That is somebody who doesn't want to face reality. And I don't take it personal. I want to make this clear. Because when people are programmed to run a certain software in their head, their puppet master is who gets to dictate how they will behave. This is why you see the blacks in America. You see, they engage in a lot of self-destructive behavior. And they would proudly tell you, they would think they are correct. Like I saw a video of some black youth went to a grocery store. Mind you, guys, one of these gas stations, he tried to rob them. He tried to rob them with a gun. And guess what? The shop owner had a gun. He shot first and won. Then they interviewed the guy's mama. He's like, oh, he didn't have to shoot him. This is the type of crew you are dealing with. So you mean to tell me I should have let your son kill me? Then they would just say, oh, it is the white man's fault. Don't allow yourself to be killed by these people. Because there's no remorse. Zero remorse. Even if they kill you, they would find a way to make themselves the victim. This is what you're dealing with. It's nothing personal. It's just to know the truth. It's just to know the truth. And you, as an African, whatever country you're from, you have to understand you cannot get yourself all emotional and get embroiled yourself in this stupid shenanigans. Yes, you heard me. I called it stupid because you see, if I don't hail from slaves, but you want to sell slave story to me, you feel a certain type of way. It doesn't matter what you say to me. I am not going to feel what you are feeling. Feelings are not real. You're the one creating it. If you hail from people who were enslaved, no one can change that. I cannot change that. But you see, they would say to you, oh, the Africans sold us. Okay, if the slaves who were sold are Africans, other Africans during those era sold other Africans, what's that have to do with me? You see? Who's to say if they've never stopped that trade? The regions they mentioned where the slaves were coming from, let's say they never stopped it. Who's to, up till this era, who's to say I myself would not be a victim that will be sold? But you see, when you listen, you would understand these people, some of these people that say this, these are sick, disgruntled, hateful people. It's like they are mad at you that your ancestors weren't the one who was sold into slavery. So they want to judge you. They try to shame you and say, you Africans sold us. But the people who were sold are Africans themselves. It was other Africans that sold other Africans. The Liberian Civil War, wasn't it Africans fighting Africans? In Sierra Leone, Uganda, Rwanda, I can keep going on. Congo, as we speak, isn't it Africans fighting Africans? Okay, why don't you jump and take a side then? But these people want to pretend. Some of them go as far as saying, creating a fabrication, saying that they were Hebrews and it was Africans who came and captured them because they were different and they sold them. Look, here's my thing. I do not give a damn about what happened in 1598. Sure, I'll tell you the story about what happened. But do you think I truly care about what happened back then? I did not live during that time. Reading this story and knowing what happened, I am very happy that I was born in this era. I just know this. St. James said, Afridamus, I have a list of AA who sold slaves in the USA. Exactly. But now, even when you remove yourself from Africa, we talk about what happened in mainland, USA. In mainland USA, the people who were brought as slaves, some of them became slave owners. If you have this moral high ground and you are against slavery, do you know that there are people who are still enslaved? In fact, majority of the slaves remained in Africa. They used slaves as money back then. So when they're talking to you, they're like, oh, you're Africans, that you sold us. Oh, are you a different race? I thought your ancestors were Africans. Like, I wasn't there. You weren't there. I'm not from, we probably, maybe in your village, where your ancestors came from, maybe from your village, this is what they do for money. I'm glad this is not a legal thing these days. So that's just the truth. You don't hear Jamaicans crying. Now it's to a point, these people here in USA, they, even they would point at Jamaicans whose their ancestors, the Jamaicans' ancestors were slaves too, right? In fact, the slavery was more brutal in the Caribbean. The pampered slaves were brought to the USA, where they were given nice house, they eat sardines, they have meat, And I'm not saying people did not mistreat their slaves, but definitely the slaves in the USA, You can read this. They fared better than the slaves in the Caribbean, which explains why the Caribbean slaves were revolting more than the blacks here who were in mainland. There were more happy slaves in the USA than in these other regions. And when I say these things, people pretend like, oh, Afridamus is being malicious. Look, let's even look at the dynamics of the world. Let's look at the dynamics. Which blacks live in the richest country in the world? Which blacks? Isn't it the blacks in the USA? Let's just be real. Which blacks are more white than any blacks in the world? Isn't it the blacks in the USA? But they don't even realize it. Many of these blacks don't even want slavery to end. In fact, when you tell them, oh, slavery is over, they get mad at you. People are internalizing this. In fact, I knew this era was going to be worst. I'm going to keep repeating this. When I was a corrections officer, for example, I had one hater who was like, oh, Afridamus, being an ex-corrections officer is not something to write about back home. I was like, look at this idiot. Do you understand the type of system I was under? It's called free education. If you want to study a nation, especially an advanced nation like the United States, the things they hide under the rug, how their degenerates act, what is the truth? If you want to know, you don't just have to read books or watch movies or thinking you have a privileged position where you work. No, you go work in their prisons. And for me, it was a great opportunity and privilege because I acquired free education and I get to study the American Negro in his natural habitat. Yes, you heard me. In the state prison. Because for some of these Negroes, I can assure you, there's no way they can function out here. No one told me this. I have seen it. I have interacted with them. I'm there with them. So there's a reason why the term jailbird exists. There's a reason why that exists. So when people try to come at me, oh, Afridamus, you're bitter because you worked at that prison. No, sir, I was getting paid to get educated. I was getting paid to get educated. This is the truth. The white man gave me access to go shoot guns, study the guns. In fact, I get to go to the 13th grade and they paid for it. Some of you waste your time. You go sit in the 13th grade talking about, oh, I'm studying, criminology. You studying criminology. But you think someone who went and sat in a classroom thinking they're studying criminology, what can they tell me? What you're reading about, I'm living it. I'm correcting it. But it comes down to being a free individual, understanding who you are, not seeing yourself as a victim, as a slave. I took advantage of it, the opportunity. And this has nothing to do with you. In fact, I had a conversation with one inmate, because, some of these blacks, they like to use the black card. And I've been doing YouTube before I was on YouTube here. Me and the black criminals, we've been going at it for a while. Like I'll be eating, I enjoy eating outside food, because some of the blacks, they love fried chicken. So I would bring in fried chicken and I'm eating. They'll be like, man, let me get a bite. I'm like, sir, you are incarcerated. You are not supposed to eat good food. They're like, man, that's messed up. You're supposed to be black. I say, yeah, I am black. But since you are too dumb to get to to maintain your freedom outside. Why you want to complain about what I'm doing? I didn't put you here. You see, these people, many people, they know the truth. Those of you that are watching me, you know the truth. Here's why I do not argue with anyone. I don't waste my time. Like, here's the thing. If you don't have common sense to be able to keep yourself out of trouble, but you blackity black, hey, do you. But guess who's not going to join you in your foolery? Me. And this narrative to say Africans sold you, please do not try this with me, because I am from Africa. You can be pissed off and say, oh yeah, you are such a messed up person because your ancestors were such warriors. They did not allow themselves to be enslaved, so that you, Afridamus, someday you would be born as a slave. You want to be pissed off at me for that? By all means, be pissed off. Be pissed off. The blacks want to exert themselves. They want us, Africans, to adopt the black identity. But wouldn't that be wrong? Because when the blacks became black, you know why they are just black? You know why they just identify by skin color? And the skin color is not even a universal thing. Because if Richard Dolezal can fake the blacks and pass for black for some time, wouldn't that tell you, like, this stuff is not going to work for us Africans? It's not consistent. Because I have seen some, like Sean King. It's this one guy, he's on, Twitter. The man, I swear, he's a Caucasian. And then the blacks, they get upset in Africa when they say, oh, you're Muzungu. They get upset about that too. Here is the thing. The Africans are not being malicious. You guys do not understand. We are just keeping it real. Okay? We understand you hate this identity. And you're saying, oh, they strip you off of your name. Guys, who doesn't know Kunta Kinte? I'm glad somebody brought this up. Who doesn't know Kunta Kinte? Who did not watch Roots? Guys, you can travel all over the United States. You will not see one black that name their child Kunta Kinte. Kunta. They laugh at that. They would rather give their child a name like Gucci, a product. They would rather name their child Chanel, Mercedes, like over products you can go buy in the car. This is why I say many blacks are obsessed with being slaves. You will name yourself over a white man's product. Do you guys understand this? But Kunta Kinte, who is an actual person from Africa, who everyone knows he was kidnapped, but they would laugh at that. So they hate being who they are. So how are you as an African going to allow yourself to play into that? So they changed Kunta Kinte's name from Kunta to Toby. You understand? Some people like to, for some of them, to feel good. They're like, oh, Kunta is not even real. No, Kunta is real. Do you know how many people I knew and still know whose name is Kunta? Because Kunta is from where I came from. Even today, I knew people whose name is Kunta. It's a proud, respectful African name. But the blacks who possibly he's got children, descendants running around, then they didn't name themselves that. So that's strike number one. That's how you know these people are devoid of reality. They hate who they are. This is why you see many blacks gravitate towards white. They are mad at white people because they want white acceptance. And I'm going to play a video here. you will see where the blacks, as usual, they try to act like they want to school Africans. So you are telling me your ancestors were Africans like me, who knew their tribe, their culture, and they were stripped of that. So now you became black. Your last name is Williams Johnson, the white man's last name. I'm not saying this to make fun of you. I'm just trying to tell you, to remind you that, look, if this is how they cut somebody off your source, your root, when your last name is changed, it's over. I'm just telling you the truth. This is why us Africans, we put so much emphasis on the last name. Yeah, you can, if some people you like, you can be John, but the last name dictates. It gets to tell you your roots. It's a history attached to it. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh yeah, I'm happy about what happened to you. No, this is just history. The things that even happened 24 hours ago, can we change it? No, we cannot change it. But we teach these things to learn about the past. But when you try to come here and try to now say, oh, the Africans who were born in Africa are the evil people. Do you guys see how this argument doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense. So I have a video here from Cut. It's a discussion between blacks in America and some Africans. And I get it. People would say, oh, not all, we are not a monolith. But people speak in when they want to, disparage and talk down to white people. It's perfectly okay. It's a monolithic thing. If they want to talk down on Africans and others, it's a monolithic thing, right? If you want to talk about black achievement, good things, it's all blacks. But if it's not a good thing, oh man, it's not all of us. You see, that's hypocritical. That's the problem. I mean, this is why the people that say black unity, you guys notice when I come in, I ask, what are we uniting on? They get mad. And I'm so used to it. Like they will say, oh, coon, whatever. They don't understand. Like, do you know I have conquered real life trolling? I worked as a corrections officer. I have told you guys this. I have already been field tested. Field tested. I've ate fried chicken in front of Negroes behind bars. Okay? Yeah. And, they cuss me out and I write them up. Because you have to show respect to officer of the law. Yeah, I used to tell these Negroes about all of that. I say, you want to talk mess? I don't know where your daddy at, but in here, I'm your new daddy. Okay? The white man gave me the badge, right? Look, here's the thing with the white man. Hey, you can behave any kind of way you want. In your home, you can say you're black, but once they will bring you to a place called prison, and they would hire Negroes like myself. I'm talking the super smart Negro. I've got the book right here in the pocket. I'm just telling you from corrections officer's perspective. I know some jailbirds are probably watching me. They mad. Don't be mad at me. I didn't put you there. I'm just there to enforce the laws. It's not like when you were brought there, it's not like we didn't give you the orientation. You see? They give you full-time orientation and say, look, if there's ever a group fight, in fact, I used to be one of the best people that gave the orientation, and I would demonstrate it. If you are not part of this fight, the riots, make sure you hit the ground. If you don't hit the ground, we would assume you are part of this and you are bound to be shot. It is written, and I explain it. You know me, guys. Me being someone that loved the Negroes, I would say it in English and I would say it in Ebonics so they can understand me. So, but I knew there was going to be a new wave of Negroes. I've already encountered them. These were people back then, they were maybe 10 years old or less. Their mamas were taking them out of school and bringing them to come and visit their criminal daddy. I have seen this with my eyes. I'm not being rude. I'm just telling you guys the things that you guys haven't seen. Of course, Stephen T says overseer. Yes, that's what some of the Negroes would call me. But don't you think some of these Negroes need overseers? Have you seen the way they act? Look, if you haven't worked with Negroes, you have nothing to say to me, okay? You know, I remember. So you guys know in prison, I've told you the story how like you can join any religion you want. So now it's almost Idul Adha, which is the Muslim feast. Where so this now is the time I'm guessing a lot of the Negroes have changed their religion from Christianity to Islam, because Idul Adha they're going to be bringing them real meat, lamb. So I remember I was conduct these festivals. I was conducting one of them. You would think, and I caught some Negroes trying to steal, like you can eat all the meat you want in the festival, but you can't steal it and take it back. So, as a super officer, of course, I'm running the show. Anybody that wants to leave to go back, I have to search you. I'm one of those people, I do not cheat. When I take the job, I do the training and I agree to doing the job. Trust me, I do the job well. Look, do you know how hard it is for a black person or an African to be so good at your job that even white people would beg you not to call in? That's how good I was over there. I know this is going to piss off some. So I agreed, I let everyone know, this is what's in the orientation book. You've signed it, that when you attend this festival, before you leave, I will search you to make sure you're not stealing some of this meat to take it back to the unit so that you can set up shop and start selling the meat. So one of them, he's supposed to be their imam, a criminal imam. So I searched him and I realized he put some meat in plastic and put it in his underwear. And I caught him. And the blacks were upset. They're like, man, I thought we were all black. I said, that's what I thought too. I said, they're like, man, you doing the white man's work. I said, here's the thing. The white man hired me to do a job. And I agreed to do the job. This is how I make my money. So you did not care about me and my family. Now you put me in a position by trying to steal some meat. Like, I've given you the opportunity to eat as much meat as you can. Only in prison where the imam steals and he continues to be the imam. Yeah, I caught their imam trying to steal some meat to take it back to the unit. So this is the type of environment I was in. But now we're going to talk about their college folks. How do they see Africans? Because Africans, we come here, we want to spread love to the blacks. We see them as our people. As, to be honest, they're from West Africa, Central Africa. Many, even though some, like, I'm not claiming Rachel Dolezal or Sean King. I'm not claiming those. But many of the blacks, we would have to claim them if they want to, right? It's up to them. But the ones that look more West African, they are doing whatever in their power. I don't know what it is to distance themselves from Africans. I noticed they would say crazy things. They would come up with all kinds of excuses. They will be like, man, y'all sold us. Oh, they will be like, man, you African, man, you doing what the white man said. Like, you are not even a logical person. Okay, like, why would I leave my home and sign up to do some work, go to this place and waste my time if I don't like the job? You know, if I don't like the job, why would I even waste my time to even go there? You see? So a lot of these people don't understand this. So it's like they walk around with a chip on their shoulder. They feel like because they have issues with a white person, therefore you should. This is true. So if a person say they're a victim and they're basing this victimhood on their skin color, and they see that you are the same skin color as them, they want you to join them in. But you see, if you are promoting strength, they don't want to be part of that. But I don't want to be a victim. I'm trying to help you. You see? But they don't want that. But at the same time, some of these blacks, you notice now they want to police Africans. I'm beginning to think the blacks hate Africans. I'm beginning to think that. They are angry. They talk mess about Africans. And here in this video, some of them are going to act civilized, but they delude themselves thinking they have power over Africans. So I'm going to play this video, and of course they always bring in the females to do these debates. I hate to tell you, but most of these females, you put them in these colleges, now all of a sudden they think they're educated, but they don't realize they are emotional. Look, if these people want to hear honesty in all these dumb debates, let them bring me in. Let them bring me in. So Audrey said, I knew Afridamus didn't play the video yet. That's right. You came right on time. I'm about to play it. So guys, let me do the disclaimer. And some of you, before you get upset, I want you to see this is nothing bad. I'm not judging the people that participated in this. This is for edutainment purposes. For you to know, if you're in Africa, you are just delusional about the blacks. I'm telling you. And when the blacks say, oh, it is white people that told you to stay away from us, why would white people say that? You know, people have eyes, people have common sense. People staying away from people has nothing to do with skin color. That's just the truth. There are many Africans I stay away from. There are many white people I stay away from. But when you know, you know why people want to stay away. So they do preemptive thing talking about, oh, the white people tell Africans to stay away. And there are Africans who lie and say, yes, immigration told us to stay away from the blacks. That's a horse shit. Do you think the United States is Africa? If that immigration officer says that, that's a lawsuit. Why would they even care who you hang around? In the United States, you're free to interact with whoever. But you that is getting that document, that paper, you that paid your money to come to the United States, it's up to you. You know why you are here. So the honest truth is, what most Black Americans care about, Africans that come here, we do not care about it. And I think the blacks should be able to accept that instead of always being butthurt, pissed off why we don't see things the way they do. That will never happen. It will never happen. Your experience and other people's experience is completely different. If you want people to act like you would just continue to be a pissed off person. So that's why I don't even see Africans and blacks ever being in this thing quote unquote called unity. Because the blacks the blacks think they are more important than other people. And that would be a problem. It's not me just saying this. I've seen it. You guys have seen it. You hear what they say. They think they are the most important blacks in the world. But let me play this video and I'll break down the conversation here. All right. So this is a conversation from the cut for edutainment purposes. And this African versus black thing, as you guys know, this is mostly promoted by the blacks. This is their way of always seeking validation and attention. When I say this, people get upset, but majority of Africans truly don't care about this. But it's very exhausting to deal with it. Let me see here, guys. Thanks for the super chats here. Let me see. Every Rude Boy, thank you for the super chat. He said, I have to donate since you're doing a stream on the Truth or Drink video. Thanks. Yes, thank you very much, Every Rude Boy. Yes, Truth or Drink. Thank you for that. And Duali, thank you for the super chat. Babat, thank you. I want to thank all of you for the super chats here. And hit the like. So this conversation is about truth or drink. And for whatever reason, they have these things so common, blacks versus Africans. So clearly the blacks want to pretend that they are a completely different entity from Africans, but yet they continue to compare themselves to Africans. This is the truth. But when they, like when African push back, they're like, oh man, you just hating, like they take on the victimhood position. But if you look at the every interaction, they want the Africans to be inferior to them. They want to feel important. You see? And some even, if you listen, their perspective about Africa, like they don't even care about the continent of Africa. How do you know they don't care? They don't even care to learn, the countries, the people that live there, the language. So in their head, they just diminish Africa, right? They would just say, consider all of us just the continent. So that's just a way of making us feel less than. I'm just telling you. So the frustration the blacks are having now is Africans are speaking because of the internet and whatever the white people were hiding from the world, about black insecurity, social ineptitude, very rude. The white people have been able to hide this because I've seen a comment somewhere where somebody was like, it was an African who made a video. He was interviewed and he was saying, we are all one and the same as the blacks, blah, blah, blah. I like reading the comment section. So I read and I saw where someone wrote, he said, these Africans on the continent don't know until you move to the USA, then you will see the truth, right? So that conversation gathered lots of different replies. And it was very interesting, like the things I was reading. And I think black people, you should stop, pouting. You should stop acting childish and actually listen to how other people actually view this behavior instead of just deducing it and just saying, oh, it's because they hate us. No, nobody hates you, but it's a certain way that you present yourself, because you cannot say you're victim and then superior at the same time. So what they do is, many don't even realize they bait Africans into these conversations. It's like they're addicted to it. But when you are baited into it, the goal is you are not allowed to rebuttal, like you're not allowed to push back. You should just go along. You should just accept that, in fact, your family, your bloodline, you guys were the ones that sold them. They want you to say, accept this. This individual don't know that. I don't know that. None of us were there. We can't change what happened. We were born and this already happened. But somehow they want you to just pretend that you, in fact, were the slave trader and they were the slave, and you personally captured them and sold them. You know why they do that? Because they were successful in shaming white people, for the white people to pretend and accept that, yes, this happened. But the USA cannot keep the secret. They cannot reprogram all people, because people are coming from different parts of the world. People have common sense. So these people are taken through what they call school. All these people you're hearing were educated. Go look at what they study. They studied victimhood. Yes, I said it. Victimhood is social sciences, where they are programmed. They are programmed to think this way. This is why you are encountering what you are encountering on the internet. That is the whole truth. I'm not going to hide it from you. This is why you hear people running around, they would claim they sound intelligent whatsoever. It's all a game. And then now, as usual, it has to be Nigerian, and now they're bringing in Ethiopian honors also into the black thing, even though many honors are refusing to be black, but there are many who accept being black. So this is why, for us here at the Afridamus Report, this is the African social science. This is our anthropology class. You understand? I know some of you don't like the African anthropology class, but who else is going to report the truth and the facts of what the blacks are doing in America, as far as us, the noble, nice Africans, are concerned? So I'm trying to help the blacks to be re-Africanized. That's what I'm doing here, so they can be re-Africanized. All these shenanigans, all this victimhood, or all this superiority, fake superiority complex, this is not gonna work. We are, we've been observing how you guys are dealing with the white people, how you come to the job late, you don't want to do your job, and then you cry racism. We've seen it all. I'm right there. So you can try to pull that stuff on the Africans on the continent, but I live right here. In fact, I have hired some of the blacks, and I had to fire them because they were not doing their job. So what are they? And one tried to accuse me of being racist. Imagine me, Afridamus, racist, guys. Can you guys ever picture me being accused of being racist? Let me play this video. Me, a racist person. It's a damn shame. A damn shame. Here we go.
What does the N word mean to you?
I hate that word, but have I used it with the A sound before? Yeah, with my close friends.
I don't like I don't like when Africans say it.
I'm sorry, what?
Hi.
What's up?
Hi.
I'm Taisida.
I'm Abdul.
I'm Khalif.
I'm Jordan.
We're doing Africans versus African Americans Truth or Drink.
It's not really verses, but
Well,
it's
I don't
just
know, and
Black girl, African gentleman.
I'm hella African.
I'm Black. Hey.
First generation, both my parents were born and raised in Nigeria. My tribe is Igbo, and I stand on that.
Period.
Yeah. They're the best
Well,
tribe.
my tribe is Compton, and I stand on that.
You want to start with the shot?
yeah, sure.
I like Hennessy.
How you gonna take my shot glass?
I was pouring you a shot. You know I'm a gentleman.
to being Black.
To being Black, yeah. Who do you, okay. Why did I get started off spicy? Who do you think gets laid more, Africans or African Americans?
Africans, to be honest, because snow bunnies are there, so therefore they want a taste of everything, right?
Yeah, like
So-
culture sampling. Yeah,
What is a snow bunny?
yeah. You got to clarify that one.
A white girl that likes African Americans or Africans or just black people in general.
I mean, honestly, I feel as though Africans have the gift of gab. I feel like they really want it, they're gonna get it. So I would say Africans get laid more. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yes, I actually would agree. No, I live in an apartment that is predominantly Africans and African Americans, and most of the African people I see walking around has a lot of kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got here somehow. So
Yes.
There might be.
Okay, so guys, do you understand? Like on the internet, right? People act like this stuff, like when I came, I'm talking about stuff. People get mad because you know what? I bring the truth of what I see. I'm not fabricating these things. And when I see it on the internet and I break it down, this is why people get upset because they know I'm telling the truth. So when I say the blacks, people get mad. But the blacks, they describe us as the Africans. And you're going to hear, didn't you hear the man saying, when I see Africans, they always have kids? So when I come up and say the 23andMe African, why are people upset? Some of you blacks think you can deceive us Africans. Trust me, you cannot. Yes, some of us are hard asses. Only the truth shall set you free. Okay? I have no problem even if you say you're Indian, but this flip-flopping, it makes us Africans suspicious. It makes us suspicious. Let's just be real. So you heard it, right? So here we got our honest sisters. So I'm going to do another show because the blacks, I heard a conversation the other day. So some of the blacks were saying they do not accept Ethiopians, and Somalis as black. They were saying this. And they were like, oh, because when I'm around the Ethiopians, they don't see me as the same. You notice how these people always put themselves in the victimhood stage? Is there a possibility that you are fabricating, creating all these thoughts in your head, and then the way you think about other people, it shows when you meet them? Maybe you are just a closed-minded person. It has absolutely nothing to do with your race. Have you noticed most Black Americans don't even realize how much people like them? I don't think they know this. People like them, literally. So that's why most of us, you get confused when you hear them saying people don't like them. You're like, what? What the hell? People love the blacks, you know, but the blacks don't come and shut the slow blacks who are coming here airing out their dirty laundry instead of capitalizing and seeing that people love the blacks. But the blacks are so used to being victims, not realizing the white liberals have bamboozled them and blinded them about truth. So I'm here to uncover that. So they say they don't want the Ethiopians to be black. But these two girls here, they would pass for black because this one here got good hair. And I'm sure this other one also have good hair and they're light skin. The blacks love light skin. You know, they love light skin. I'm telling you. Like one time I had this light skinned girlfriend. She told me, she said, you know, Afri-Damas. I was like, call me Mr. Damas. She's like, you don't even care that I'm a light skinned woman. I said, what do you mean? She said, because, you know, the ghetto, in my ghetto where I grew up, the men are drooling all over me. I said, not over here, baby. I said, I get it. You're light skinned. Are you lighter than the white people? The white women are as white as snow. If it's about white skin color, why would I choose of brown white? Because that's what light skin is. Let's just be real. If it's about the skin color being white, why wouldn't I go to the authentic? Because you know the white women, they are very white. In fact, if it's about white, I'm not just going regular white. I'm talking white. I'm talking Scandinavian white. But because that's not the issue, I had to put her in her place for her to realize it's not about the skin color. But the blacks are obsessed with skin color. I'm telling you. And in fact, in this conversation, the skin color thing is gonna come up. You know, this is why you see so many blacks running around, you know, and they, you know, they just have this low self-esteem about skin color. In America, if you're dark black, they have low self-esteem. In African men, the darker they are, the more our confidence is high up there. I mean, look at those South Sudanese. Who's more confident than those players from the Sudanese? I've seen them around here in America. I mean, these people, they love dressing in colorful suits, but you know, the white women love them. So here we go.
Be a lot of different types of American women who might judge African men and would not want to sleep with them.
Yeah, I would say probably black men.
Black men,
They be out here.
yeah.
I feel like African men be presenting as more got it together too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, shoulders up. You feel me? Chin up. Like they walk around with confidence.
Exactly.
How do you feel about the term African American?
It just feels a little confusing, simply because to me, the African American culture and the African culture does not have camaraderie like I feel like we should. And I always feel like I don't really identify with African American because that part of the African side don't really embrace me. So I'll be like, I'm black.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me let him finish that.
Okay. I mean, I would embrace you. You're cool.
Look, what he's saying is true. Okay? The blacks have lived in America for this long. So they have their own way of doing things. But the idea to say the other people do not have to accept me, they don't want to accept. It's not about if other people accept you. Do you accept you? Like, do you accept you? Because it's how you carry yourself. And do you embrace who you are? You know? But if everyone is saying, okay, this person is confused, they don't want to embrace who they are, right? You send a completely different message. And in fact, I'll tell you, if I were a black American, right? Knowing what I know, I will not be trying to reinvent, like change my identity to say I'm going to go be part of a tribe, because that would be a disadvantage. Sure, would I go to Africa? Yes, but I would remain as American because that's my identity now. That's what gives me the advantage and the confidence. But the moment you start getting yourself all caught up in, you know, a 23 and me talking about trying to tell people you are a Yoruba, you are a Maasai, or talking about you are a Zulu. I mean, now all of a sudden you become like you confuse yourself, you see? And when you say, oh, I'm going to go check out where my ancestors come from, and then you find yourself in Ethiopia, you're like, okay, sir, are you just confusing yourself? Like, what's going on here? You see what I'm saying? So, in a way, what he's saying is true. It's confusing to try to get the blacks to act African. They don't need to. They don't need to. But you see what they are doing, they're trying, just like with the civil rights, forcing relationship between the blacks and whites, it created more hate instead of just allowing the relationship to naturally happen. The same thing is taking place. He is making himself a victim. He's saying, oh, the other side doesn't embrace me. But that's not true. Have you tried? Africans actually love the blacks. They really do.
People.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't like when some people say it.
When like the super allies say it.
Yeah. African Americans. It's like, oh.
For like black people in America, like we are as American as it gets because we've been here for better or for worse since the creation of the country. Versus like when you say like African Americans, it kind of denotes like a general.
So this guy, he is correct. If I were black, not just honorary black, the way he's approaching it, that's how I would approach it. Because America is the new world. We know the Europeans came here. The Europeans are not natural here. The blacks have been here as long as the Europeans have been here. Do you know that the blacks have been in America longer than most white groups? Do you know this? So the reason why I do these shows, I want to try to get more and more blacks, their heads right. Because you see, in America, here's why. Because in America, every race you see, right? Because in America, they play the race game. The Chinese, they have like their Chinese diaspora who've been here long. They went through stuff, right? But the Chinese have a strong foothold here. The Japanese and others. So for us, like the blacks don't even realize it, but they are the original representation of Africa. But most blacks are upset. See, the day they wake up and realize, no, America is the new world. Yeah, we get it. You've been here as long as the whites have been here. So stop the foolishness. Stop with all this damn anger and start representing your people right. This is why I do these shows. But this constant bickering, us versus the Africans, you all African soldiers, you don't like us. Where is that taking you? It's not taking the blacks anywhere. It is not. And if anyone doesn't tell the blacks this truth, you are lying to them. You don't love them. The blacks have to understand their position in this whole entire equation, because the transatlantic slave trade, that's what it was all about. They had all these 3 continents involved. The Europeans came up with the money. They conquered America. They provided the land and the resources, and Africans were used as the labor force, right? So now that we live in a new era, we understand what happened. Yes, we cannot turn back the hand of the clock. We can't do that. But what are we going to do with the consciousness we have today? Do you guys honestly believe that even the Africans on the coast that engage in the slavery and the other Africans, do you think, are you comparing your consciousness to ours today? If you're doing that, you are a silly person. If you want to hold, you know, contempt and hate against Africans of today, which, by the way, if slavery had continued, all of us could have been victims, even though I highly doubt it, coming from a very strong warrior tribe, you know, we would continue to hold out. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying things happen. And I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, you should forget about all this. In fact, when you think about it, you should use it as something as like an inspiration, and say the opportunities that you have today. Imagine your long time ancestor who was enslaved. A slave, somebody owned this person. It's not like, they're like, oh, you only work for 8 hours and I pay you X amount of time. It wasn't that. If master's sick, you sick too. If master don't feel well, you don't feel well. And all this light skin thing you're saying, you guys know when I say Motisa, do you guys know where Motisa came from? The Motisa tribe? Those are the light skinned ones. They work in the master's house, in the big house. So when they say Motisa, the reason why they became the Motisa is when master is having the meetings, they have company over. So you guys seen it in movies. They go pouring tea for master. So they walk about, they're like, Motisa, meaning they're asking, do you need more tea? So that's how they became the Motisa tribe, the light skin. So this dynamic have been in place for a while, but I don't want to keep you. Let us continue with the conversation. Just want to give you a little bit of history on the Motisas.
Generation ago, this generation, 2 generations ago, they're from a different country. But it's like, no, we've been here longer than like half the white people been here.
Take a shot if you have ever used the term African booty scratcher.
Absolutely not. I was called that.
Me
I was
too.
definitely like African booty scratcher. People used to call me Midnight.
I got called Midnight too.
Oh, Dark Vader.
Yeah, me too. And I love Star Wars.
You don't like Star Wars? I would never watch it because of that.
Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
Okay, so
wait, what's
Darth
his name?
Vader. His name is Darth, Darth, but people would call me Dark Vader.
I'm sure black people does not know his name is Darth.
They knew enough to call me that.
They call me Dark, Dark Vader.
Oh, maybe it was a combination of both. I know they call.
Guys, do you see this? Look at this woman, right? Her parents from Nigeria. She's beautiful, right? Beautiful, nice skin, beautiful. But here in America, they made fun of her. They were calling her Darth Vader, Midnight, because the blacks are colorists. And I'm not blaming the blacks for this. I want you to know this. Because if you are dark like them and me, you don't get to serve Master tea. So you're not part of the Motisa tribe. So I'm just letting you guys know. Because when you're part of the Motisa tribe, you get to wear, a suit and a bow tie. So here we go.
Call me that. I know what they were saying.
It was a play on words.
Yeah, probably.
I just think black people didn't know, to be honest.
No, the black people, I don't know. My elementary school, they knew.
I think they knew.
They knew.
I don't think they knew.
What does the N-word mean to you? Do you think you take offense to it as much as African Americans do?
Depending on the context. I've seen people consciously not.
You see what they did here? So they are setting up the Horners. They're setting up the Horners, right? So this guy, he's clearly is not of the Negroid race. That's right, you heard me. You know, the Horners, they are not of the Negroid race. They are different from us. Because here's the thing, it's not all the skin color. Look at his nose and stuff, right? But because they want to create confusion, they are going to bring somebody who is of brand black understanding, and they put this chick in front of her who is obsessed with light-skinned men, by the way. They know her love for the dark-skinned black chicks, mostly in America. They love the white man and light skin like him because they want their kids to quote unquote have good hair. I know people are going to be mad, but I'm telling you what's going on. There's a reason why they paired them. Do you see how she is looking at him? She's looking at him like ice cream. Switch that up and put a dark skin. All of a sudden, she's going to look like a hungry hyena. And you guys that are watching, it's true. So here we go.
Say it around people that they view threatening, or like, oh, that's a real black person, versus like, oh, Abdul, he's fucking the
They think
engineer.
you're like
Abdul,
unharming. They
yeah,
think you're cool.
I'll sing along with this song, and I'm like, oh, Abdul said it was cool with me. That shit pisses me off. Yeah.
No, that's because Abdul, you ain't black. Abdul know this. Abdul, you ain't black. You mix. Okay. That's why people can say the N word in front of you, because you're not N. This Negro right here, though, if you say the N word in front of him, he knows because he didn't real Negro. But here we go.
I hate that word, but have I used it with the A sound before? Yeah, with my.
Here we go. So they like to say, oh, did you say it with the ER or A? You see the hypocrisy there? Because they don't believe that Africans should say it. Even though it is Africans, because we are of the Negroid race. Even though it's used as an insult in America, that doesn't change the meaning. But it would be silly to think the original Negroes from the black factory, the Negro factory, the original Negro factory. It's like a zoo lion telling a savannah lion, a free lion, that you're not even the real lion. Nah, buddy. The white people had to feed you. We have to chase our food down. So I'm free, you're not.
Close friends.
Can I don't like I don't like when Africans say it.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't like when Africans say the N-word.
With just any type of way?
We're different. I do hear you and understand you, right?
So did you guys hear this from a black person? How come when I point out that there's difference, so there's so much difference, this guy doesn't believe that Africans should be able to say the N-word, meaning ninjas. Africans are ninjas, but you see how hypocritical these blacks are? They can put it in songs, they can just put it in songs, sing about it. They call each other all this. You see why the blacks think they are so important and special? They think they can police us Africans about this word. Even though, look, if the blacks want to keep this word, they can keep it. I do not care about it. So this is why I say Africans don't care about, these things. So you look at the blacks being free. This is the type of things they want to engage in. They give the blacks freedom. Look at who they want to police. They want to go after Africans. Oh, the Africans can say it. Are you kidding me? Are you serious right now? The blacks hate Africans. Look, my show is like an AA program. For you to heal, you have to accept the truth. Look, we get it. You hate Africans with passion. It is the truth. They think they're better than Africans. They can tell Africans what to do. It is a damn shame. Why can't Africans use the word? I'm not encouraging people to, but are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's a damn shame. But let's continue to hear this. But this black have been programmed to think this way. Let's hear his logic.
African, I promise you, every African that says the N-word, I tell them, do your parents say it? And they all be like, hell no. And I'm like, so why do you?
Never.
My parents say it, my grandparents say it, their grandparents say it. No African parents, grandparents, and
Yeah, I will say mine
you
would
get what I'm
never.
saying?
Yeah.
So we gotta work hard to get.
That is the dumbest idea. So you think the N-word is a bad word, is derogatory. Why are you guys calling each other that? You know, the blacks, they do this bait and switch thing. That's how a true victim acts. Oh yeah, we're gonna put the N-word over beats. We love it. And we're gonna play it with white people. And we'll tell them sing along. But the moment they say the N-word part, no, that's a no-go area. You see why people have issues with it? This is exhausting. This is exhausting. And if you don't know it, I'm telling you why other people don't mess with you, even Africans. The Africans are exhausted. Every day is something new. We are tired. We are just exhausted. Yesterday, we see you playing this on, you put it in your rap songs. We see you call each other this. You look just like us. But you can say it, but we can't. Come on, blacks. Come on, blacks. Get it together, man.
Rid of it. It's like, y'all picking it up because it sounds fun.
I'm glad that you shared that with me because I never heard someone have an issue with African people saying that word.
Ooh. I think you should get your shot ready. This shot. This.
Talk your shit, twin.
Name 10 African countries in 30 seconds or take a shot.
Ooh, 30 seconds? You're rude.
You got 30 seconds, try.
That's not a lot of time, actually, for someone who's had tequila. But I
You
don't know
can
the
try
difference
it.
of I don't know the difference of countries and cities.
We'll find out.
Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire.
You see, she's over there, showing the light-skinned guy her Oaxaquis, her Tatas. For some of you who don't know what Oaxaca is, you call it Tatas, cans. So she's literally being slutty. You see how some of these dark-skinned women are? When they see light-skinned Abduls, this explains why so many of these women now, they're going to Dubai. You guys know what happens over there. The fetish to go to Dubai. You're seeing it in front of you. Not this one here. The Nigerian woman, you see, she's into JJ over here. Just look, and many of the blacks, they're like, oh, the Nigerians don't like us. Most of the Nigerian chicks are into you. I see them online talking about being with blacks. But the blacks like to distance themselves. Oh, we are not Yorubas, we are Yarubas. It's a damn shame. Here we go.
Zimbabwe one?
Ethiopia, Ghana, Nigeria,
Niger, Chad,
Somalian, Nigeria,
Kenya, Gambia, Somalia.
You see, they always gotta bring Gambia in. Well, the moment you ask them, oh, name the countries in Africa, they always, in fact, I have seen people now who mention Gambia. I was very shocked, by I mean, it's good that the blacks are beginning to learn the countries in Africa. But yes, Audrey's laughing, of course. She said Gambia. You see? And of course, Somalia is a dead giveaway. See, when it's convenient, Somalians are Africans. But when it's not convenient, they are not. And I'll tell you guys right now, We can't get rid of the Somalis. Where are we going to send them to? Yemen? Saudi? You see, they treat them like Africans, like blacks. So we are stuck with the Somalis. We better get along with the Somalis, you see? Because the people we're trying to attach them to are saying, nah, they ain't one of us. So guess what? We are with the Somalis now. Even the blacks approve of the Somalis being Africans. So Miss Dark Skin over here, she's flirting with Abdul, trying to get that good hair baby. My goodness. Here we go.
Yeah, halfway there.
No, it was 10 or 5.
It's
10.
10.
Damn, you're
What about
crazy.
that guy? What about that guy?
Nigeria.
West Africa.
That's a region.
It's okay. Go ahead and take the shot. It's fine.
Zimbabwe. Why am I blanking?
Sinhalese. Is that a country? It's a city?
Guys, so now you're seeing, I'm glad now Africans, we are putting our foot down and getting the blacks to learn the countries. So they're trying to get them to name countries in Africa. A Senegalese, she says, Senegalese. Do you guys see why I say let's be patient with the blacks? When they come with all this crazy talk, we got to correct them. A Senegalese. Okay, what the hell is that? So, yeah. So now those of you that are watching, are you beginning to see that I'm not against you? You see, when you put it on camera, it's like being in front of the mirror. So, welcome. You are very welcome. It's not Senegalese, it's Senegalese, meaning someone from Senegal.
Close. I'll accept. I know what you meant.
Madagascar, South Africa, Equatorial Guinea, and
Damn, man, she is smart. If you gotta know Equatorial Guinea, hey, whatever happened to the ambassador of the Equatorial Guinea on this YouTube streets? I don't want to name names, but you guys remember there's like a crazy Equatorial Guinean woman. I haven't seen her around here. I wonder if she's in the insane asylum by now, but here we go.
Molly. Oh, damn.
See,
Yeah.
See?
Senegal.
Senegal. Not Senegalese. I was thinking of my twins.
Lord Jesus.
What do you think white people dislike more?
Honestly, I still don't think they really know the difference.
In a professional setting, I hear a lot about white folks really preferring to work with Africans because we really are a lot more submissive in a way.
I think they hate black people more than Africans.
Look, it's not even, see, many Africans who try to buy into this dumb narrative, the fact of the matter is, like if you're an adult, you apply for a job, and this is what the job is. You go, you do your job, right? You're not there to kiss anyone's ass. You are doing what you signed up to do. But you want to go and work in someone's company and then try to tell them how it's done. She used the word submissive. What does that even mean? You mean discipline? Look at Astro said it too. Because you're disciplined, you know what you want. You're not a child. Take responsibility. Look, I don't care if some Pookie or Shenane, we work together. Look, I don't know you from anywhere. You know your problem. You know how much bills you have to pay. You know, you know what you need. So why would you leave your home to go and argue with other people? That's stupid. Okay, so why would you expect someone to travel across the Atlantic, pay their money to come to America just to argue with quote unquote white people? It's pretty stupid. But some of these Africans, they play into this. I don't know why. But maybe that's them. But The reality is most Africans ain't even really thinking about blacks. They just want to get the job done. That's all.
They hate the descendants of slaves.
The model minority myth exists heavily in the African community, to where like they've been brainwashed to think that black is bad, everything else is good. They're the good ones. This is what you should be as a minority.
See, this is why I don't trust this, light-skinned people, because they come up, they try to, tell these lies. What do you mean model minority? You mean some guy have discipline? They know what they're about to make their money. I don't, no such thing as model minority. It's about, hey, are you about your business? You as an individual, you get to decide this. I have no interest in leaving my home and go to some place to go argue with people, or if I don't have the interest to do the job, what the hell is a model minority? So some of you Africans, immigrant, blah, blah, you need to stop lying when they bring you into these conversations, because the blacks are addicted to being victims. They want to justify because they hate it when they say, oh, the Africans say we're lazy. If you're not lazy, why would you care about what other people say? You see, for me, I don't pay attention to what other people say about me. You think that's going to stop me from doing what I do? You can say whatever you like about me. The only person whose opinion matters about me, guess what? Exactly, you guessed it. Me. I get to decide what matters to me. Like, you could be like, man, Alfredamus is a loser. He's this, he's blah, blah, blah. You think I care about that? No. You think that's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing? Absolutely not. But the only way that pisses you off, because it's true. And the blacks must know. Some of these people, they're just blowing smoke up your ass, but they really do not care about what you're doing. People see you as a regular American citizen. These people are afraid to tell you the truth because you are forcing yourself on them. But for the most part, they really don't care. They look at it like, hey, if you don't do your job, you get fired. In fact, when they fire you, they would thank the boss. They'll be like, yeah, I'm glad you fired that ghetto ass chick from here. Yeah, this guy that is sitting there saying this. But you know who would even remotely defend you? That's right, me. I would even ask, why'd you fire Shaniqua? Oh, she's loud, blah, blah. Look, I know Shaniqua personally. Yes, she might be loud, but she's a nice person. You just gotta be patient with her. But Abdul here, trying to lie to you, talking about model, minority. No, he is thanking the boss for getting rid of you. I've seen it. So don't put this one on Africans. And also, someone asked me, can Moroccans say the N-word? No, sir, no, ma'am. Because Moroccans are either Arabs have enslaved Black Africans, or they are of European descent. I would suggest to you not to use it, especially around pro-Blacks. And even if they are pro-Black Africans, I would warn you, even if you're this guy's shade, you might not want to use the word. I'm just telling you. But here we go.
Be polite, all the respectability politics.
Everybody Black, it doesn't matter. Anybody who's perceived as Black, they just see us as Black people in threat. And the more chocolates you are, the more issues you're gonna have. Honestly, yeah. I don't think they can. Really? Okay, do tell.
I feel like if me and another dude is standing side by side and we get approached by the police, I think that if he has an accent, it's gonna make him less dangerous.
This is true. He is correct. But you see, the blacks, they want to penalize you for like a white police officer, using critical analysis of determining who is dangerous and who isn't. Who is more likely to shoot at you? I worked in corrections. I know exactly this. This is not from emotions. Why do you think the blacks have so many dangerous and some of the blacks we see dangerous encounter with the cops? Why do you think that is? So you mean to tell me you as a person, one-on-one, you are out there, you are making decisions about your life, and then you want to blame another person who is smart enough not to engage someone who's got gun, they got badge, they are licensed. If they do harm to you, it will be very hard to make them pay. So why wouldn't you use common sense to avoid this? Hey, if you want to be a hero, a dead hero, be my guest. So they are going to use terms because an African person from Africa is more likely to understand, not to escalate situations. This is why you're not seeing incidents between Africans, African immigrant and cops. Again, is that one thing. Why the hell would I leave Africa to come to America to want to engage in altercations with American cops? Why the hell would I want to do that? I have no interest in it. Are some cops gonna be biased? Absolutely. They are human beings. I told you guys the story about, you guys remember when they took me to jail? I told you that. They took me to jail because this white dude, he keyed my car. And then he keyed my Mercedes, my nice Mercedes. And then he accused me to say I choked him. Guys, do you picture me choking somebody because they keyed my nice Mercedes? Do you think I choked him? But either way, they believed him that I choked him. I'm a peaceful person. Even, when you slap me on this cheek, I will give you the other cheek. That's how peaceful I am. But long story short, I was put in handcuffed. I was locked up. That's right. I lost my freedom temporarily. But when they put me in the slammer, that's right. Not only was I an officer, but they also put me in the slammer. So when I was there, guess who harassed me? A black officer. No, Astros, I don't have the criminal record. I took it to the box all the way. I took it all the way, and guess what? I was exonerated. I made sure I got me a white female lawyer. And she did the case exactly as I dictated. I went in there, and the judge was black. Isn't that beautiful? It was fascinating. But either way, I beat the case. One thing I can tell you, that white dude, he will never key anyone's Benz. I did not choke him, but I'm just saying, He will never key anyone's Benz. Imagine that. Just imagine that. I'm a peaceful guy. I come in peace every time. In fact, if you key my car, I would thank you for doing it. That's how peaceful I am. But this lying sack of shit accused me of choking him as if I'm a savage. But he will never key anyone's car. Let's continue.
The police?
Yes.
Maybe I missed the question. I just thought you.
Oh, you're right. Well, white people. I think of
think of
I think of all white people as police. Period. They all okay.
Okay, no,
I mean, white people police black people for no reason.
Take a shot if you've ever said Wakanda forever.
Have I? I probably I've definitely have at some point, but not at some point. Yes.
I might take a shot with you.
To Chadwick Boseman.
When the first movie came out, I took a girl to go see it.
Yeah.
She's African American.
Yeah.
She legit asked me after the movie.
Oh no.
She said, "Are you from Wakanda?" And I was just like,
Oh, guys, you think this is a joke, right? He said he was asked by a black chick if this was Wakanda. So back in the days, right? So it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. No, Coming to America. So the Coming to America effect ran all the way, even like the early 2000s and stuff. So back then, every African, you can be a prince or a king. Guys, believe this or not. I know some of you are going to be like, Afridamus, you're wrong for this. But back in the days, in the early days, around in the 13th grade campus, guess what country I was from? I was from the kingdom of Zamunda. I was from the kingdom of Zamunda. You will not believe this, guys. I was a prince from a province called Al-Qasir. That's right. The kingdom of Zamunda. And in fact, I let this Shiniquas know that I have, my head is on a currency, just like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. And they believed me. So this Wakanda thing, I remember, going to the movie theater, seeing the blacks wearing their fake dashikis that they bought from that's it, made in China, just to go watch the Wakanda movie with little drums and their bucket of chicken from, Kentucky Fried Chicken, So, yeah, this Wakanda thing is real. In fact, when Wakanda first came out, I ran into this girl. Black chick, beautiful. She asked me if I was from Wakanda. And I was like, nah, I'm from the province of Zamunda. No, the country of Zamunda and the province is Al-Qasir. And my father, the king, King Jofi Jafar himself, sent me here to come and, explore my royal oaths, as you guys know. And they fall for it. So I'm not surprised they ask him from Wakanda, because this guy got the Wakanda face. This guy, he is African. Some Africans who try to pretend they're American because they were born here. Like Negro, both of your parents are African. You look like the tribesmen. You cannot shake this one off. So you look like a Wakandan. So here we go. Hey, look at this. Hey, that's what, black people love, they enjoy Africans. I think that's why they like these conversations. You see how much he is cracking, because he knows this is true. He is cracking up hard.
Okay, I've never asked that. I gotta say that.
Are you serious right now?
In what ways are Africans misunderstood?
I think we're misunderstood, maybe kind of on the topic of like my home country, right? In Ethiopia and having war in Tigray. When I told my coworker there's war that just started, he was like, oh, but doesn't that happen all the time? That was his response. Someone I respected and I enjoyed working with him brushed it off.
I'm fully convinced that like some white people I've met still think like most of Africa is just like dirt huts.
Yeah, like living in huts, not having water,
Yeah.
not really having food.
There's 54 different countries in Africa. It is.
Look, guys, Africa, look, when you come to America, I swear, it's wild. Like this Tigray chick, look, telling, look, if you want to be honest, when it comes to like the Horn area, when you tell the blacks about it, it doesn't really connect. Honestly, when it comes to Africa, if you want to get the blacks to be interested, you have to tell them about a West African country. And if they already know or they Google it, now you got their attention because they see themselves as the same as those. But if you're just telling them about the Tigray War, Ethiopia, they generally do not care. And another thing I notice about the blacks is crazy. They can talk crazy, all this mess about Africans, but you notice if someone is not black or African, they are not allowed to talk ish about Africa. If you think because the blacks are saying it and it's hate, the moment you talk bad about Africa, they will switch on you. I'm just letting you know. They are allowed to, but you are not.
Unfair to just lump all of Africa into one. To like, oh, you said you're from Africa? I have a friend from Nigeria.
Like people aren't interested in the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Good. Emotional at the end.
I know.
I don't like.
All right. So you got that, and lines are open, guys. Hit the link. Hit the link. We got Kidola in the house. Kidola, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thank you, Aphrodamus. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem. Kidola, what do you think about this conversation? Because like this, Kidola. Before, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the first one amongst the Africans, but you remember all the kumbaya stuff, the things I point out. Many people are afraid to point this out, but this is the truth, right? Are you surprised about the things I said and blacks seeing themselves as different from Africans, and which nothing is wrong with? These guys confirming it and the way they think. What do you make of all this?
Aphrodamus, you, there was nobody else that could encounter people like the Tariq Rashid and some of these FBA. I can't call them all the blacks are like that, but they can entertain people like them, these FBA, ADOS, mad people who causing trouble. You see, no problem. They'll be out for a very long time. And Africans have suffered a lot in this YouTube space from uh, Black Americans' hands a lot. They use us as a punchy bag.
Exactly. And Kidola, I forgot to ask you this. I'm sure you've heard this where they said, oh, you guys, you Africans sold us. But forgetting that, it was Africans who sold other Africans. How can you blame today's Africans of that? Because if we live, even if these things have been going on, who's to say me, you, or even Judah, who's to say we cannot be victims of it?
Yeah, but they don't know because, see, they see slave trade as they will be selected. That business would never really be selected. They will not, oh, let me select you. It was a hitchman and the king who participated in that business. And if you're a weak tribe, you be defeated by the strongest tribe. Yeah, they will sell some of you, they domestic the other ones in Africa. You understand? So it's never really be, oh, I was Jewish. That's why they were all from different places in West Africa and maybe Central Africa and all those places. So we have to understand anybody can be a victim of these people. It doesn't
Right.
mean anything. You understand? So if you're lucky, you're from the stronger tribe, yeah, you'll be at home. If you're unlucky, you're from the weaker tribe, they whoop your ass. Just imagine out of 100, 30 will be gone. That just way, you have nothing to do with me. I doesn't have slave trade in my head continuously. I live my life. I'm not even thinking about what happened then, even. You understand? So they should be thanking God that at least the ancestors survived that long trip. And also they are not Jewish people.
Right.
They are,
And also, Kidola, if you think about it, right? For example, like, because I've heard this narrative, and many Africans who they've never lived here, their perspective and how the blacks think, and this is nothing against the blacks, but I think they are delusional. I have nothing against anyone, but what you are seeing here, this type of thinking, do you think this would fly in African society?
not at all. You just two Niger just married to his black American wife last week.
Wait, wait,
So
wait, 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 wait. Wait, 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 wait.
I swear to
Wait
God.
a minute, wait a minute. Kinola, Kinola, what is going on here? Is this a joke? Huh?
no, no, it's not a joke. I heard that.
Wait, tonight you got married to a black.
Yes, somebody.
How did this happen? Wait,
Because,
what is
I know Tunaja. I saw him. I saw his face. I saw how he looked like. There's somebody who know Tunaja. Contacted me and said if that not too long ago Tunaja just married to his black American wife. And whoa! I said, are you joking? He said, real, for real. In real life, Tunaja have Rasta. In real life, Tunaja have Rasta hair.
Yeah. So no wonder Tunaja have been on the, always just talking. He gets mad about my shows.
Tunaja have disappeared now. He's on the honeymoon now with that black American woman.
Wow. This is unbelievable.
So no, the truth is the truth is.
So Tunaja got him a black American wife. This explains everything.
Why you don't?
Yes,
Tunaja have been hanging around for a very long time with these people, man. That's why I love them. We say no, let's unite. I can understand. We all from the same source, but what you should understand, the black Americans in United States I don't understand why, but most of them are Haitians. You know what I mean?
Wait, I'm still I can't. Tunaja, wait. So Tunaja, all this talk all along, what I suspected was the truth. Christopher Kane said, "Congrats to Niger, Black Lives Matter." Thank you, thank you, Christopher.
I'm saying the
truth. And Bantu Queen said, "Now the bootlicking makes sense." Like, here's the thing. Okay, Kidola, seeing you don't live here in the States, right?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, the blacks, as you can see, they don't get along with the white people. They go out of their way. Do you think now, even though they're in denial, their future is Africa now? Because they are marrying people like to Niger now. How old is this wife?
I didn't really ask, but the guy just said Tunaja got married to his black American wife, and said she's a very beautiful lady. I was like, okay, that's why I didn't really say no. Tunaja in real life have a Rasta hair. You understand?
Right.
He's a Rasta guy. So what I'm trying to say is this: black Americans are our cousins. They like it or not.
Right.
You understand? They like it or not, they are our cousins.
Look, they know it. They know it.
Yeah, they know it. And And we cannot, no matter how they want to put it or how far they want to run away from that word, Africa or West Africa, your identity is always going to be your identity. You understand? You can't change it. The white man see you like that, the Latino see you like that, the Arab see you like that, and all of them see you like that. I understand some of these hustlers, race hustlers who want to make money are like that. But you have to understand, you see, we separate from we left each other for a very long time. You understand? So cultural differences, tribal differences, even United States, black men was owning slaves also, owning other
Oh,
black
of course.
as a slave. So you have to understand the ones that deported to United States or the ones that some of them are slave traders themselves.
And Kidola, here's the thing. Even you would hear like some of the blacks, they would say, "Oh, these Haitians and Jamaicans, we're not related to them." No, do you know, like, even when they say, okay, they're gonna stop, bringing in African slaves, a lot of the slaves, the exchange, they were bringing them from Haiti and Jamaica to the United States.
That's what I'm
But you
saying.
notice, you're not gonna hear the Haitians and Jamaicans crying about slavery.
Most majority of black Americans are Caribbeans. That's just the
No,
truth.
they're Nigerians. You mean Niger
Yeah, by
and
by
and, Sen- and Senegambians.
by ethnically or where they're coming from, they are Africans, they are West Africans. You can see those, you can see their mouth, you can see who they are. 500 years, it didn't really change. So that's what I say, when they go to Ethiopia will see them as West Africans.
Right.
The East Africans
And
will see them
Rwanda too.
Rwanda will see them as West Africans. You understand? So they should not run away from who they are. They are West Africans, and no problem about that. Okay, if you like the light skin ones, no problem. You have preference. You understand me? You can like the dark sauce. You can like the light sauce. You have to choose. You choose the white sauce or you choose the black soup. You understand? So it's not anything. It's a choice. You get what I'm saying? So that's just the way it is. But if look, me from Africa that didn't know nothing about Black America, when I encountered them in Europe and the way they respond to me, even when I try to stretch kind of friendship to them, I was shocked. You understand?
Wait, Kidola. Knowing Nigeria, so is Tunaja going to bring his wife to his village in Nigeria?
Yeah, you must have to go to Anambra. You must have to go to Anambra and sample that Black American's wife to the Igwe of Obi of Anambra, and said, Highness, my Black American wife that I lost a long time ago, and bring this woman home. And this woman is entitled to a land. And let's see how the Obi will respond to Tunaja if she's speaking of that fantasy.
Well, he's doing his thing, re-Africanizing the black woman. Let's bring in Duali Gape. Duali, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Hello.
Duali, where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Germany. Thank you very much.
Germany. What country are you from in Africa?
I'm from Somalia.
Somalia. Welcome to the show.
So thank you very much. I have been watching your program for the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And I found it very, very interesting. Thank you very much, Afridamus, for having me.
Thank you.
And thank you, Kudola.
So,
my friend, you from Germany, right?
No, I'm from Somalia, but I live in Germany.
Okay. In Germany, because I've been to Germany, I've been to the disco there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Germany, the Black Americans love Africans in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I can't have an opinion for that because I have never interacted a lot of African American. Germany is my 22 country I have lived. I've been.
Oh, okay. So, Duali, are you surprised by how the blacks in America, think about Africans, even though they're African descent.
This is the problem I'm having it right now with your program, Afridamus. Um if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. As an African man, Somali from Africa, I'm from Africa, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And when it comes to the nationalities from Nigeria, Kenya, Somalia, Eritrea, and the African American, we see them all, they are just like us, okay?
Right. Mhm.
Struggling and having a living. I have never met an African man except I worked one person
You
in
mean
here in
African American?
African American.
Okay.
Oh, I have worked a lot of African from Africa. There's a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians, Cameroonians, Eritreans, Ethiopians. We are all same. Huh? We work together, we eat together, we play football together, and we are in Germany. Remember that.
Right.
But I met one African man. I like 4 years ago. I used to work on a warehouse that's belong to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that are doing the work mostly are from refugee like ish.
Right.
Like me. Did I say ish? It is a German word I. And the German people are very nice, and we work here. We have papers,
And
and huh?
Duali, would you say in the
I'm
diaspora,
telling
like
you
in
this
Germany, do
the
Africans we all do get along,
oh yeah,
right?
yeah, we all get along together. So, for example, now I don't work there. I work another place, and I have two Nigerian brothers who are working with me, and one from Zimbabwe. Man, they're like my family, man. They are they're my brothers and my sister. We just yesterday the girl came. She's married to a German woman, German man, and she wants to go date with her husband, and she left the girl with me, and we went to. I have two children here with me, with my wife,
Okay.
and yeah, we
So
are in
do
a
you
community. We
like
we
seeing
we
it?
we, we, we don't treat each other as you from west, you from east, this bullshit is not here.
That's
Okay,
good. Uh-huh.
it's not
Even
here.
even you know what, Duali, to say it right. The place where I even like I send my money to to my country.
Mm.
The people there, like they're from my country, they from my tribe. But guess who they work with? They work with Somalis there.
Yeah.
These people, they're doing business, everything is good.
Uh,
You know
uh,
what I'm saying?
uh,
So, but in America, like the
for,
blacks have been open
I,
to
I
see
don't
more differences instead
forgive
of
forgive me,
similarities.
forgive me. I cannot talk about America because I've
Right.
never been in America, and
Hmm.
whatever that I say will be not accurate. I have a brother who lives in America, who has two children there. He's a Somali brother. He was he came also as a refugee program. He has two children.
What state does he live in?
He lives in Wisconsin,
Oh,
Milwaukee.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I used to visit Wisconsin quite a
yeah,
bit.
he's married to a Somali woman there. They have two children, and the children are American, of course. They born there. They are Somalis, but they are also African American. All right, and they have all the opportunity they need. But I don't know anything about America. The only thing that I'm going to tell you here is the title of the program, which is "Can And can African say the N word?
Right. What do
Right.
you think about that? The guy said Africans cannot say the N word. And
My friend,
is it racist
hey,
if Africans say
Afridamus,
the N word?
Afridamus, anyone who says the N word, this is my opinion. Anyone who says the N word or the pitch word is a racist.
No,
I
but
don't.
the blacks, they put it in music, they sing
This
it,
is
you know.
this is what I have. I have 10-year-old child here who's born in Germany, right? My son is born here in Germany. He's a German citizen, huh? He's born here. He already got the citizenship. And when we watch these videos with the word negro and bitch, I have problem with.
Afrodamos,
I
my
okay.
Mogadishu brother, I've never really come in contact with Black Americans, really.
I
I
never
think,
had. I only
yeah,
had one person, and
yeah,
that person who's working with me. See,
yeah,
I
because
have
see,
I have a Cameroonian,
you can never
Nigerian,
come across
Eritrean.
Black America except if you go to their disco club.
Hmm?
If you go to their disco club, when hip hop was just raining at that time, when Genuine
That's
and
right.
yeah, yeah,
Genuine was the man.
you were Genuine
I love me some Genuine. Man,
yeah,
you just reminded
yeah,
me. Man, I
my
used to watch him on YouTube. No, on BET when he had the hit song. That's
yeah,
right. But I couldn't do the
yeah.
Genuine thing because he light skin. I ain't no light skin.
We used to cruise with this music those days.
Yeah,
Let me,
but
Okay,
let
okay,
me,
okay.
I used to put it in my Honda Accord.
yeah, let me.
Afridamos.
When America was good in
Back in
music,
the days, I could only afford a
let
Honda
me clear
Accord.
my throat. When those music were just coming up, then you know what I mean. We said, "Let me clear my throat." You would be hearing this music, in the
That's
club.
right.
Then in the club,
My
there we
gosh.
used to take our shirt out and we swing it on the air. You understand?
Wow. So Kidola, you were like you were genuine back in Germany
Yeah,
there.
I was jigging with man. I was jigging. You understand?
Hey, Ginola,
So upstairs, I
you are
was
very funny.
jigging with hip
Um,
hop music,
mm,
Genuine, all those guys before Puffy came in. You understand me? Before Puffy came in. So these guys, this New York boys was very good in hip hop at that time. You
That's
understand me?
right.
So
uh,
that was when I said I come across Black Americans. These were their clubs. You understand? These were their clubs. So this is where we normally.
And did they consider themselves African, or you were the African booty scratcher to
No,
them?
no.
oh my
I was the Africa because because me and my friend we normally drive in with Mercedes Benz.
But Kidola, I didn't ask you this. So the blacks say, can the Africans say the N word?
No,
um,
no,
uh,
no, 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 really, because look,
You
Afridamos,
know what? You know what?
Afridamos,
Speaking of which, hold on, guys. I'll come back to you. Let's bring in Jude. Jude, I'm not gonna call you Almighty, but I'll call you Jude. Jude, are you there? Jude, are you there?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me?
That's right. Jude, can Africans say the N word?
Um, man, look, man. Look. This award that was given to these people by white people, man. I mean, holding on to a word doesn't matter if it's African or it's white. I know a lot of white people that use the N word, and I mean, come, man, N word is just N word, man. It makes no sense in my language. The N word was there in my language before the white people use it. So how you gonna stop me from using a word that was already in my traditional language, you know? So it don't matter who call it, man. I really don't have a say on who use the N word or not, because if you
Okay,
want to
that's fine.
degrade yourself,
Jude, what do you think about what the blacks are saying? Like the Africans are quote unquote the model they are the models, minority, pretty much it sounds like they are pissed off that you came to America, you're disciplined, you're willing to do your job like you did the orientation. Because, remember, I told the story about working in prison. And I used to give Negroes orientation, how the things that would get them shot. It was all official, I know some of them are going to be pissed and call me an overseer, but someone's got to oversee the Negroes. Even if they got to bring a Negro from Africa, the original Negro, to oversee the other Negro who doesn't know they are Negroes. But I was doing this in the prison. Judah, would you say I was a great employee?
Let me tell you something, Afridemus. Did you know why white people came to Africa to start getting Africans to come to United States? Because the blacks in America were so white in such a way that, to bridge the gap, the white people needed other blacks that have intelligence, to come here and say, okay, because these people, man, me and you know that they hardly go to school. They don't do a lot of things, at the job site. They might call you a coon because they think you
Judah, can
submissive,
you,
but you are
Judah,
not.
Judah, Judah,
You
did
know
you
what I'm
ever
saying?
have encounter with Negroes where you are doing such a great job and they got mad at you for being such a disciplined and a
I'm not gonna
hardworking
go.
African?
Look. Afidemos, I'm not gonna go there. I've been on this panel for a whole lot of time. I mean, you know where I stand, man. I'm not gonna be using the same intention every then and then. But
Wait,
this,
have you ever
look,
been called a bitch ass nigga by
look, like I said, man.
have you ever been called
I'm
a
not
bitch
gonna.
ass nigga for being a good employee?
Yeah, I mean, this is the
Can you
thing.
tell
Most
us
of these
the time that Pookie called you a bitch ass nigga? Can you tell us what
Academics,
happened?
can you let me make a statement? Look.
Please
This
go
is the
ahead.
thing. Just the fact that we black doesn't mean we have the same origin. This is the thing that most black Americans do not know. When Africans come here, they want to work money and send home. These people do not have a life. They don't care if they don't go to work. They don't care if they get fired or not. They don't want to pay child support. That's them. So they think like, oh, because they don't want to do that, you have to leave your own job because a manager or a supervisor is speaking down on you. You know what I'm saying? These are people that have no sense of like, oh, let me make money. Hell nah. They want to make quick money. So when they see African working hard, they say you kissing the
I
white
agree
man's
with
ass.
you to this.
You know,
I was
brother, let me
also
talk,
called.
man. I've been listening. Let me talk. People don't cut me when I'm talking. I don't
I'm
speak
just
for
saying I
long,
agree
but
with you. I agree with you.
right. I live in the States, so I'm giving you history because of what I've experienced. And this is the thing: people that the blacks or Africans that live overseas, they don't know the experience of Africans in America. And Africans in America have suffered in the hands of African Americans for a long while. I mean, even till now, people are still suffering. I have Africans that they don't have no African American friends because these people, man, the jealousy is full. They have a mind of jealousy, like
So
they
do
can
you
take
think
their
they're
life in
jealous
their.
of Africans?
Oh, yes, man. One of my guy got shot in Indianapolis, Indiana, from Senegal because he got a nice car, and these African American believe that wow,
And,
living
and
in a different.
Judah, my cousin used to live in this ghetto area, and I told him, right, back he used to have, Thunderbird, nice Thunderbird. He goes, the car, he washes it, it's all nice and shiny. And there was some Negro sitting out there in the hood. He lived in the hood, cheap rent. Some of these cheap African. I live around where the rent is expensive, so Negroes can afford it. So he's there, he parked his car. When he came back, they keyed into his car. You know what they wrote? They called him a bitch ass nigga.
Of course, man. Look. After them was see. I mean, they have
It
people
was,
on this panel
yeah,
that are gonna
they
speak.
keyed it in his car, like they messed up his car.
After them was look, man. He was even lucky that he probably did not get hurt or anything, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the thing. What you see, the thing that an African right might have a problem. I might have a problem with you, right? I don't have that instinct that, oh, I might end up killing you or doing that or taking it from, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in
Right.
America, man, you better watch your back. Like, like that's why I moved from state to state, man, because of several things that was
Wait,
happening in the
Judah,
community.
Judah, do you live, do you prefer sundown town or gun
Oh
downtown?
man, like come on, man, you know my stand, bro. I live in Utah right now. It's sunny up the mountains. It's getting nice. White people are
Wait,
coming out.
Wait,
You
Judah,
know.
aren't you nervous living around all white people? It's in the white
Oh
people
hell no,
races.
man, hell no, hell no. Like that brother was saying, that brother made a statement that when the white police officer pulls you over and
Yeah.
see when you are from Africa, there's some kind of a soft, and that's true. I've gotten pulled over several times in Utah, but guess what? I don't have a ticket. They don't give me one because why? I have insurance. I have a driver's license. I have everything that the police need. I have registration. I have a car title. Now I don't take a police on a speed chase. I stay on the same spot. I respect the police, and the police say, "Wow, you sound
So
nice."
wait,
You know, oh,
Judah,
go
Judah,
home.
do you
That's it.
think,
You know.
Judah, so do you think the blacks, because they want to unite with Africa,
Bro,
do you think they
blacks
would
do not
ever
know how
become
to hold
African?
blacks do not know how to hold conversation with people. That's a fact. They do a lot of talking, but they don't
Explain,
know how to hold
explain.
one on. Let me tell you, they don't know how to hold one-on-one conversation with people. The moment you want to hold a conversation with a black person, he say you want to disrespect him. It makes no sense. There's nothing as
And
disrespect. Hold
also,
a conversation
Judah,
with
let me
someone you
ask
want.
you, Judah, what about the narrative when they always say, you all Africans sold us? The narrative of you all Africans sold us. What do you make of that?
Bro, the Holocaust was one of the most then most of the Holocaust was one of even till today, right? The Holocaust was what I know was one of the most one of the most bad things that happened on planet, right? But guess what? People have moved past the Holocaust. People are rebuilding their life. Communities are getting, uplifted. But when it comes to this community, they keep talking of Africans. Come on, man. Everybody have moved past slavery, bro.
Wait, Judah,
Nothing
what
like
do you,
that exists, you know. Yeah,
Judah,
all these the white man is hanging doing. Come on, bro. That makes
Judah,
no sense, man.
Judah, what do you think about what Zongo said? He said, Judah, nobody hates Africans. Every poor and envious person hates successful people, regardless of your background. What do you make of? What do you want to say to Zongo before we move on to Black Who Defies?
Zongo is a guy that
Do you think
he just
Zongo is
moved
a
here.
sellout? Do you think Zongo
No,
is a sellout?
Zongo just moved here. I think a year ago from Cyprus, and he got married to an African American woman, right? Most of the time, he cannot come here and disclose certain things, right? You know how African American women they get down like that. They spice you up in such a way that if you go astray, you might end up pick your bags and go back to Africa. But this is the thing.
And
Zongo is a
Judah,
brother.
hold on, Judah. What do you make of Tunaja? They said Tunaja married him a black queen.
Oh yes, I was just speaking to two Niger a few days ago on a panel. I think that was on a certain panel that I was with him, and me and him was talking. Man, two Niger is a brother, man. Like most of these guys in Europe, most of the things that they want to do is come to United States and make a living, and that's the thing. They will hold on to any straw that they feel like and push what they want to, for other people to accept it. But this is the thing. I'm more into this African American and Africans on the continent. The moment when I look, I've been in this country for so long and I don't have an African American friend. I wish I could have one that I can call and say, hey man, what's up? What's happening, man? But I don't have that. I have
I'll be
more
your
white
friend, Judah.
friends because I have
You
more
don't?
white friends.
You don't have black friends?
No, man.
But you
I
see,
have white friends.
Judah, people would have thought I'm the one that don't have black friends. I got plenty of black friends. My black friends, some of them even watch my show.
Wow, that's
Abradamas, did you give them any beachfront property?
Black who's defy. Today one thing we're not gonna, words that are banned in this show is beachfront property. This is a this is a derogatory word over here today, sir, on Sunday.
Well, but let me finish, man. Let me just give a rundown on the stuff, man. But it's summer right now. It's sunny in Salt Lake City, Utah. The white people and their wife and kids, everybody is walking in the park. I've never experienced this kind of life with Black community. They don't hang out with their women in the park. All what they want to do is sit and smoke and just,
That's a
chill,
fact.
stuff like that. White people go out and roam around and, enjoy the weather, man. That's just how it is, man. So Demos, I'm gonna stay down and let somebody get on the panel and talk.
Yes,
Thank
let's
you,
bring
man.
in Blacks Who Defy. Blacks Who Defy.
And what's
Welcome
going
to
on,
the
Afrodamus?
Welcome to the Afridamus Report. What
Yes,
do you
sir.
think about some of these Negroes saying Africans cannot use the N-word? What do you make of that?
That's stupid. They can use whatever the word they want. So what?
And because if you look at it, like a lot of these Negroes, they want to spend their time policing Africans, but they also claim they are not Africans. Why do you think they want to police Africans?
Because they believe that they're getting something that they are not. And you see what's going on with the illegal alien situation coming
Right.
into places like Chicago and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
getting $51 million.
Are you babysitting?
Yeah, I have my children with me, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
getting $51 million handed to them, and so they're complaining about that. But they've had billions upon billions handed to them, so they believe that they are missing out. So when they see people from the African diaspora, whether it's Somalian, whether it's some West African or whatever, Sierra Leone, whatever, Sub-Saharan, whatever, if that's a thing, African person achieving here, then there has to the jig has to be up. The fix must be in, and they're getting something that African Americans, quote unquote, are not getting. But that's a lie.
But
That's
here's the thing. What
Yeah.
do you make of this? Y'all Africans sold us narrative.
I don't care about that. Everybody sells everybody.
Because Blacks Who Defy. Think about it. Let's say
Yeah.
if the white man never stopped, slavery, right?
Yeah.
Who is to say? Those of us even on this panel, who's, because we are from the slave zone. Who's to say
Yeah.
we would end up on the plantation if it never stopped? Why are you trying to blame me? Like, I'm happy it ended, like before I was
Hey,
born.
listen, slave trade has been a respectable form of commerce for the last 2,000 years.
Yeah, it's
White
like
people didn't have a monopoly on it. Everybody was doing it from Timbuktu all the way to Russia. It's the way it is. All through the Silk Road, that's what they were doing. In halls of learning, that's what they accepted. So I don't give a doggone what these people say. Their narratives, those are solely and strictly American narratives and their lies.
But what do you think about? Do you think the blacks can take this narrative into Africa and prevail?
No, and you're seeing it now with them. Who are the people who moved into Ghana and refused to pay for the land that they're on?
Yeah. Oh, you heard about that, huh?
Yeah. They refused to pay for the land that they're on.
Just trying to do the same Negro stuff.
Exactly, and still refuse to pay for the land and thinking that they have recourse. What I would say to that is, you can't take your First Amendment Constitution there, and it doesn't hold weight there. Secondly, pay your bills. If you didn't
But
do
here's
what
the
you,
thing, Blacks Who Defy. Why do you think Negroes are so confident thinking they can take this idea over to a place they even deny?
because they've been coddled here in America, and this is all they know. All they know is woke Olympics. All they know is being given. Me. It's all about me. Give it to me. It all belongs to me, and you better do it. Otherwise, I'm going to march, picket, and burn stuff down. That's what would you do if you were a crying baby, a crying child who consistently, when crying, gets what they want?
And do you think Judah is a sellout Judah wants to live in around white people. Do you think Judah is a sellout, African sellout?
Judah, Judah is a scholar and a gentleman for wanting to live in Utah amongst the pearly whites.
Oh
There's
man,
nothing
blacks
wrong with
should
that.
defy man. Now you're gonna be a sellout in the blacks
And
book.
hey, my namesake is Black Suit Defy. That's why I call myself Black Suit Defy. I'm already a sellout. Nobody, they don't like me, and those who do like me know what I'm about.
All right, thank you. Let's bring in Chaotic Truth. Chaotic,
Yes,
welcome to
sir.
the Afrodamus Report.
What's going on, Afrodamus?
Oh man, another beautiful day over here. Doing my anthropological field work for my African people. Sharing the information. So, like, should Africa, the black factory where the Negroes' ancestors came from, should okay, if they are the original ninjas, how come they now Negroes in America, domesticated Negroes, are trying to say Africans should not be able to say the N-word? What do you make of that?
Well, I agree with Black Suit of Five. I believe that everybody has the right to say whatever word they want to in America. That's the beauty of America. We have freedom of speech. And if a small group of blacks are trying to police a word, then they are violating human rights. They are violating.
Wait. You said human rights?
Yeah, I mean, anytime
I agree.
you disregard the Constitution in America, you're violating human rights, and we have rights in this country that I believe that are very unique. Unique. But I'm sorry, you want to ask me another question?
But why do the blacks feel the need to want to police Africans, especially? What is that obsession?
Well, to be honest with you, Afrodamus, it's not even just with Africans; it's with everybody. I've seen groups of blacks, and it's a white boy, and the white boy is acting just like an African American, and as soon as he says the N word, they want to fight him. Oh no, you can't say that. So there's this.
I don't get it. How
it's this thing of ownership when you don't own anything. I believe
I'm
that
from the Ninja Factory.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a thing where you don't own anything. So that's the one thing that you can lay claim to, and people can, I guess, respect you because people have acquiesced. Whites don't say it around blacks anymore. Other groups of people don't say it, and I feel like when people do say it, it's the perfect time for certain types of blacks to start policing it. Yeah. But it's only a small group of blacks, though. I mean, I would beg to differ. Most blacks in America are not like that. Most blacks.
Oh no, no. You know what? I know because here's the thing: most blacks, they don't, because most people I know, in fact, in real life, blacks, they when I tell them some of this stuff, they can't even believe it. How Negroes are acting online, they can't believe it.
Yeah, well, because it's only a small group. I do want to touch on that Judah said, and I do
Go
have
ahead.
to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be very brief, Afrodamus, and hopefully nobody cuts me off while I'm saying this. And salute to you.
Go ahead.
I'm going to speak on behalf of the African American. There is no way in hell that the African American who, by net worth, GDP, the African American has had all types of societies in this country, the Black Greeks and sororities, mathematical associations, scientific associations, Jack and Jill. Blacks were doing incredible things while the African was still living a primitive existence. It's appalling when I hear people who literally are a generation or two away from being a spear chucker disrespect African Americans who have the most power out of all the Africans in the diaspora. This thing about crime and criminality, let's be completely honest. Criminality in America, and particularly amongst blacks, doesn't even compare to the atrocities that have taken place on the African continent that exist even to this day. You have right now in South Sudan, literally a civil war. You literally have in places of Africa where you literally will get robbed if you have certain items on you. You have places in Africa that have human rights violations that take place by the government itself. So comparing criminality on scale, you can't even do it. The African American is generally peaceful compared to the African. If you really sit back and think about it, there has been no genocides in America where blacks have killed other blacks because they're Muslim. There's been no genocides in America where blacks have done anything with, for example, like this whole dark skin, light skin thing that used to happen in the 80s. Well, there was no genocide behind it. Yeah, it was just funny games, jokes. But it's appalling. This whole thing with
right. Judah,
even with performance. Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Judah, what do you want to say to that?
Yeah, well, let me finish.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah, let's be completely honest, man. When it comes to every profession in America, the African American is beating any African. It may appear that Nigerians are doctors, but if you just look at the numbers, all you got to do is go to the medical association, and they'll tell you how many people are doctors, and they'll tell you with ethnicity, and it's African Americans that still dominate. The fact of the matter is that, again, African Americans are not even trying to go to Africa. It is the African who's trying to come to America to be like the African American, because within 1 or 2 generations, like you can tell with me, we become the African American. So it's not that I really believe that it's the African who was jealous of the African American, from what I've observed. And we're not even going to talk about sports, entertainment. We don't even have to do all that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wanted to touch on this before. There's somebody, a hater in my chat, Nubian child. I cannot believe this, Judah. I cannot believe it. He said, Afridamus tribe, the Soninke, sold more blacks to the Arabs than all the tribes in Africa put together during the Ghana Empire, Ouagadougou. Sir, I understand Ghana Empire needed to reduce their population at the time. They needed money. Okay? This is what I read. You think, Chaotic, is it fair to hold me accountable for what happened in Ghana Empire in the 7th century?
That's appalling. That's absurd. Huh? No, not at all.
Exactly.
But to the people in the chat that are saying that proportionality, no, your proportionality is based on a game of telephone. I can literally name one or Judy.
Who is echoing?
Afridamus.
That's Judah. Let me finish real quick. At the top, because I just got here. People in the chat are talking about proportionality. You don't have any facts or evidence in the chat. You don't have any numbers or data. Here I go. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. This organization, my organization alone, has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of active members who are African American. And I could tell you, these men are highly professional. They do well in their profession, and they are a part of the elite system.
But would you say, Chaotic, mentally to feel, to have real self-esteem? If you compare the African, let's say blacks, they are in a country rich, wealthy, right? Who
Correct.
do you think have more sense of self and confidence?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. I really believe it's the African American. If you really sit back,
you think so?
I know so.
Okay, let him talk. Let Chaotic talk.
Hold on.
Let me answer Afridamus.
Hold on. Let him finish, and then you can respond. Yeah.
The African American does have more sense of self, because the African American, even though it is counterculture, the African American, he speaks Ebonics to this day.
This is true.
This is true.
This is true.
The African American dresses a certain type of way. Most African Americans could give a damn about working for some white man's corporation, even though blacks do work in Fortune 500s. But most African Americans could give a damn about that. Most African Americans.
You know what? I have to affirm that you are right. You can say what you want, but they will definitely. They would do them. This is true.
It's the African that comes over here, generally speaking better English than the Queen's English. It's the African that comes over here that wants to be with the white woman. It's the African that comes over here that wants to assimilate more into American culture than blacks do. And black Americans
what the heck is going on? Really?
I know the blacks, they go out of their way not to assimilate.
That's the show. And whether it's good or whether it's good or bad, I'm gonna let it play.
No, Chaotic, you're right. But let's allow Chaotic, you've touched some things that are, it's true. This is true. Like the blacks, Yes, you can say what you want about them, but yes, you might not like it, but they will definitely show
Yeah,
who they are.
I'm gonna land
Yes.
the plane real quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land the plane real quick.
Let-
Afrodamus.
Yeah.
The African. I gotta say this, man, and I gotta be truthful about it. The
No,
African
go,
is
go,
not.
go for it. This is what
You
the
have
conversation is all about.
trust me, you have exceptional Africans that come over
Mhm.
here, but that's the exception. If Africa bordered America, if we shared a border with America, you would get a Mexican type immigrant because most Africans are not these brilliant people that people are pretending to be. Most Africans are savages, to be honest with you. And I'm not just talking about West Africa. I'm talking about some of the most violent people I've ever met in my life were from Somali and those East African countries, especially when I was in college. The most
Yeah.
grimiest people I've
That's
ever
a
met in my
fact.
Yep, the most grimiest people I've ever met in my life. I met a South African dude who was extremely violent. And the fact of the matter is that look at South Africa. The majority of South Africans are not Nelson Mandela. The majority of South Africans are literally an entire country of Pookies and Bukishas.
And Reres.
That's the difference. That's an entire country of it. But I'm gonna let it play. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, go ahead, Kidola.
Damas, I disagree with him because he's using the eyes of United States. He live in United States, right?
Right.
The
He's a
man
white
have-
guy.
Hold on. The white man have already developed the blacks over there than the Africans in Africa.
He's not from Nigeria. He's a white guy.
Hold on. The Africans have to learn the white man way to be able to defeat them and achieve their independence.
Right.
So it took the Africans a way to understand, able to study them. You have to understand.
Well, that's why I ask about this self-esteem, because even though the African might not be materially wealthy like the blacks, right? But there's like a different type of pride because all the African countries, they fought against.
He's born in United States. He grew up.
Yeah, but also the blacks. Another point he raised. This is why there's problem. The blacks, they do stand their ground. You might not like it, but they will show who they are.
All blacks stand their ground. The Africans stood their
I think
ground.
that's that African blood in them.
What you should understand, Afrodama, is this: our grandparents are born in Nigeria. Right? I live in Nigeria. I grew up in Nigeria. I'm baptized in Nigeria. My granddaddy used to tell me, "I want you to learn to understand. I want you to be like that white man with that helmet." You understand? So one thing that the Africans did at that time was to study the white man's way of life. You understand me? If that aspect did happen, would they still be under the white people rules? You understand me? They are warlords. They all study in England or somewhere in America.
Right, but Kidola, like, so how I would highlight like black crime. We talk about Chicago and stuff, places like that. So Chaotic is saying, despite Black America, their crimes and stuff, right? They are not as brutal or savage as people like in Africa. He said, like he gave example of like Sudan, right?
Hold on.
So wait. He gave example of like Sudan, like these guys have been fighting since the 1950s on and off, right?
Yeah, these are political. The crimes the crimes the Black Americans are committing in America, these are petty crimes.
Yeah, because like most Black Americans, right? Like Black Americans generally, right? They would express what's on their mind, right? Like they would express what is on their mind. So it's easier to criticize them or go along. Like you can debate them because they are going to tell you what's on their mind. So in a way that's easier. But like the African, you don't know what's on the African's mind.
Because the Black Americans are being policed over there by the white people. In Africa, we have a political problem.
Right.
Tribal differences. These are not petty crimes. This is not I'm going to steal your supermarket. No, these are serious matter to rule. These are to rule, to dominate. You understand? If the white man did, if the white man did come to Africa, I think Africa will still be fighting civil war today. You understand me? The pulse of that war was just because the white man came over there. That's why the pause was put on hold. You understand? So during the independence and after the independence, now comes the political problem. And the sport he talked about. Look, we all knows that actually it's not like the blacks are better in running or doing sports. It's just because it took the Africans long time
You know, Kidola, I agree with
to
you
come
because
over
I've
there.
had that debate. I've had that too, right?
Yes.
Yes,
And
it's like a different thing because you're right, because it's like a mindset, the dynamic, you know. But when you look at, for example, like so okay, let me ask you this. Do you think the blacks would ever finally confront the white man and fight him physically like the Africans, most Africans did?
no, 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 no. They
Do you
be
think
no,
because you know, because most blacks, they try to say they are brave, right? But they
no,
don't realize that
no,
most
no.
African, even the small poor countries they call,
We're not talking
these
about
people
fight.
have fought, like even Guinea-Bissau, right? Had to fight war, like a real battle, like the 1860s civil war,
Afrodamus.
that happened in America. Most Africans have fought this.
We're
It
not talking
happened in
about
Zimbabwe.
yeah.
It happened in several African
We're
countries.
not talking about
Even
fighting.
Ghana, they fought the British.
Yes, this is a serious matter. Look, they can use them to fight.
Kenya, the Mau Mau, we all
Yes, they
know
can use them
about
to
them.
fight the Second World War. That's
We
big,
know
big
Sam Juma in Namibia. We
Namibia.
know
See,
about Angola. We know about Mozambique. We could name many, many, many places.
Afrodamus, when you be defeated, right?
Right.
What happened? Even when the Africans were being defeated, some of the Africans on the ground were still kind of like brave to know how to. This is their land. They want to drive them, but they have to find a way first. First for that, they have to know how to use those guns. You see, the Black Americans actually was due to the circumstances. Man, they were heavily defeated. They changed their
They
identity.
were they were outnumbered,
Yeah, they
and
were
their
outnumbered.
identity also was
Was
altered.
changed, and once somebody destroy your language and your identity, your culture, you're gone.
But do you think they still, most Black Americans, they have the, because you can
No,
take
no,
like they
no,
have the tribal, like
no, no,
their
no, no.
tribal DNA in them, like
They
the
no, no,
the
they're not
refusal
used
to
to it anymore.
submit.
They're not used to it anymore. They can be soldiers among the white
White.
Americans army.
Mm-hmm.
They can be good there because they train in that thing, but they don't have the mind to rebel. You understand? They don't have
Mm-hmm.
those because it's not something that been done before. You see, now the Latinos now are coming. The Mexicans are coming now massively. So the whites are there, the Mexicans are there. They're in the middle now. You see, they're being choked. So they have to turn to Africans, and the Africans are very good in skillful way. Forget about these so-called savages and all these things. The African man can plan a battle and draw a line and say, "This how will take these people out in 3 years from now. This how will take." You see, you can say anything. The black Americans learn some certain things from the white man, yes, but we have to learn it the white people style, the business aspect, everything. We
Well,
have to learn it.
also, hold on, Kidola. I want to ask Chaotic this. So, Chaotic, if we speak like in American terms, right? Let's say, okay, Nigerians tend to be the majority African. 1 in 5 African you meet are Nigerian. So, majority Africans are Nigerians. So, we would use Nigerian as example. So, like Astros put here, which is true. He said, Afridamus, tell CT, Nigerian American out earn the average AA by thousands of dollars. Okay, so we like to use Nigerians, right? But okay, for example, like me, Chaotic, compared to most blacks, and I'm first generation, I came here on my own. I make way a lot more money than most blacks. So how do you explain like first time Africans coming and with all the hostility and still prevailing in every sector? Because your average Nigerian makes like 72K, 76K compared to 44K for most, African American.
Afrodamus, and please hope nobody cuts me off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I wouldn't let them cut you off.
That is a choice.
Right.
Yes. Nigerian Americans are the most successful, I would even argue, immigrant group
Mhm.
in America. Yes,
Right.
I will give you that. But that's a choice. But see, in Nigeria, there are no choices, just like all over Africa.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
no
I see where you coming
and
from.
what I'm saying is yes, if America bordered Nigeria, that earning will be significantly lower. How do we know this? What is the GDP currently in Nigeria? What is the average salary in Nigeria? What is the average Nigerian earn in Nigeria? The fact of the matter is that you have a group of people who are successful coming over here generally. And you have a lot of criminal element coming over here as well. But the fact of the matter is, and I said, and I keep on saying it, the only reason why it appears that mostly all West Africans are successful is because that is the best coming over here. Again, it would look like Mexico in terms of immigration if Nigeria or Ghana bordered America. And let's not be, and to the people in the chat, you're correct. The average Nigerian American makes about 68 to 72,000 a year. But again, the wealthiest people in the country in terms of non-whites are Black Americans of slave descent.
This is true.
And what I keep saying
That's
is
very true.
Yeah,
this is very true.
And what it is that you have a lot of Blacks who are lazy and dependent on the system that brings down our earning potential. But the successful Blacks are dog stumping any
Mhm.
African. And that is the truth. And in every industry.
Yes, I'll have to say yes. You're correct on that.
Right. Let me land the plane real quick. Melody Hobson is not a Nigerian. Robert F. Smith is not a Nigerian. These are not. Robert F. Smith is my fraternity brother. He's worth $8 billion. He started his own equities firm. Melody Hobson is a Black woman. She's a billionaire. I can name you so many.
But Celtic, let's because this, like the fraternities.
Oh, we're not even
generally. You guys are generally like the fraternities. They are rich, right? It's a long line of it's like long money. This is not just today, right?
Well, I will say that but go ahead.
But if you look at it, right, because the argument that is being pushed forward, let's say, because there are people who are saying, okay, it's because of their skin color, generational wealth, whatever. Like, I know Africans, literally, right? Who some people might even try to say, oh, he's low IQ. Like, they are easily, here in the States, easily making minimum of 60K a year. Like they can barely speak English. I've seen it.
Afrodamus, you know why the Black Americans are richer than the Africans?
I thought you were asking me the question.
Yeah.
Right. Give me a second, Kidola. Give me a second. Again, it's a choice.
Right.
The African who is not able to become an engineer or a doctor, yes, they have they are in a country where they see that, man, I could make a lot of money pretty much doing little to nothing, which is like working. And I hate to say this to anybody in the chat who works at Amazon, like working at an Amazon, right? Working in the warehouse where you're just putting items up on a, what do they call it? I forgot what they call it.
Conveyor belt.
Or conveyor belt. Yeah. In Africa, you couldn't make $15 an hour doing that. But here in America, even a dummy from a country would say, damn, I could make a lot of just doing that. And they realize that this country is really a wealthy country, especially if they have the opportunity to work at Amazon that has a.
But also, chaotic. I've seen like entire, almost like like I live in a major American city, right? Shopping mall area. Like let's say on like Somali, right? Some Somalis who can barely speak English, they run
they own it.
They own it. They own it. Like I see that here.
Again, which is probably true. But the fact of the matter is that if one or two Somali families owns a shopping center, you can't compare that to the tens of thousands of black elites, maybe hundreds of thousands, man. Listen, do you know over and I gotta say something else, Afrodamus, to somebody in the chat real quick, but do you know over 2 million African Americans in this country have a net worth over $1 million? Now that doesn't mean that they have the liquid
That's
cash.
more than the amount. That's almost the amount of.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you used the
And
word
I gotta say
liquid, like liquid cash, right?
Yeah, they don't have. Yeah.
Okay, so Africans, so you would see, for example, because I can literally say this, you're gonna meet some Africans. They might look illiterate, but the amount of liquid cash they have, you might look at some blacks and say they got money. Those Africans have more liquid cash than those people.
Mm-hmm.
And the person can even say they're a doctor. So most black Americans might be hung up on the title. You might see some African, they focus on the liquid cash. Because I've been to some of these places. You might not even think it, but these people got money. I'm talking liquid cash. They can barely speak English. They own these things. And if you assess it, how much asset they even own in Africa, they own vast asset and they hold a lot of liquid cash.
Yeah, but that's not the common. That's not the common African either, though, and that's what the whole thing is.
Okay, I see your argument. So you are saying it's like the smarter people.
Yeah, the common African American is curb stomping the common African, no matter what country. And I gotta say this real quick. I gotta say to somebody in the chat real quick, Kidola. Give me a second. To the person in the chat who says that black Americans, enslaved descent, rely on a white man. Do you know, being an American, I've realized that we get disrespected so much as a country. The nerve of this person in the chat who doesn't even live in America, I can almost guarantee you, sir, that whatever country you live in, that if it's not a European country, you're getting foreign aid from us. Nigeria, for example, gets $1.1 billion in foreign aid, and that's a developing country.
So do what?
Nigeria's a development. So the thing is that foreigners.
So do what? So do what?
Afrodamus, can
but you see, like Chaotic, for example, right? Chaotic.
Yeah.
A lot of things they report. Like the other day, this was just last week. I was at this spot and I'm reading the advertisement, the flyers. So I read something which was interesting. It's like, okay, let's say the Somalis. I was in a Somali place. They have like an entire Somali bank advertising. They are giving the loans to Somalis, right? And other Africans. They didn't limit it to just Somalis. As long as you're Muslim, they base it on religion. They are giving they're giving in America here. They're giving you zero interest. They're giving zero interest.
That's one
loan to people. This is Somali banks. No, but what I'm saying, the number.
I can name you 20 African American banks right now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they have a lot of that, right?
No,
but
they don't.
Still, no. What I'm saying, the black banks are not able to compete like with this Somali bank, because I've seen a lot of Somalis with big homes from these banks. Like literally, it's sponsored by the Somalis, and they are giving it to other Africans. As long as you're Muslim, they're not even charging interest.
Afrodamus, black Americans, yes, they live there for 500
One
years.
United Bank, Afrodamus, is the most successful African American bank, and I can pretty much guarantee you, sir, that One United Bank has more assets than that Somali bank.
Yeah, because there's a lot more. What I'm saying in proportion, right? If you look at like this Somali bank, they're not only giving this to all the Somalis, they are giving the loan to like Gambians, Senegalese, because they are Muslims with them and they are not charging interest rate. So if you look at the number to the proportion to African Americans, that like the African number is smaller, but within my point is within just this generation, these are people they weren't even born here. They can barely speak English, but they have the money. They have the money
Afredamus,
So not only give to only Somalis, they're giving it to other Africans.
I am Somali. I can tell you, you are right, and this is called hackbet in my language. It's like 10 people are coming together, and they want to help someone, and like they charge me, you give 10,000, you give 10,000, you give 10,000, and then it comes like 100,000, 150,000, and that person is going to buy a house. You know what? This year I just bought a house for my family, and I did not go to a bank. I didn't do anything. I had just 10 or 15 people who is say, okay, Duale, you pay this, and the next 10 years. This is our culture.
You know,
Well,
Duali, that's why Duali is weird when even the argument to say if Somalis are African, I was surprised to find they gave this same loan
No
extension
interest, no
to
interest.
no interest to Gambians, Senegalese,
Completely.
like they are doing this. So I'm looking at it like, okay,
this
the,
is
the amount,
Yeah.
because they're not even asking for interest.
No interest, just to help us someone,
The Jewish people,
and that is the culture, and
the Jewish people also
maybe
doing it.
people who in America they are using this as a national or international way, but
The
this
Jewish
is
people also doing
from
it.
us. This is
Right. The Jewish
it's
people
like
dominate the whole
like when someone is 18 years old and he is working for his father for the last 18 years, and he's now 20 years old, and he's a young man, and he wants to get married, and he wants to family. The father gave him like, okay, I have 100 camel or 150 camel. You've been working for me the last 18 years. I'm giving you like 25 or the 15 camels so you can start your own family.
We have it.
Oh wow. Okay. So they're just repeating the same process.
The
Okay.
same process come to the Western world, came to the America shore.
We also have that one in Africa. We have it in Nigeria. You understand me? In Nigeria here, a little boy can serve his master, can be his uncle, anything. Then at the end of the day, when he's 18, he will get free. Then he will have big money to open his own business. You see, the African Americans are living in United States, so they're more in population than any other Africa or any other Africans that came over there. Sure, they will be far more the richest among the numbers compared to the Africans. The Africans that are there actually, they're not really there to stay United States due to circumstances when they find themselves stuck there.
Exactly.
So the Africans in United States, they're going back home to build houses, to build.
Like Kidola. To be honest, right? For example, even I would say, like, to be honest, I don't know any African. It don't matter which country, Gambia, wherever. I don't know any African that makes less than 60,000. Even the ones you might think they are pookies, I don't know anyone that makes less than $60,000 a year.
Apodemos.
Yeah.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
See, you see, chaotic. One thing you need to know, just because maybe the Mexicans or the blacks, immigrants, who work normal jobs, they might look rough and dirty, but please, most of these people, they have more money than those that work in the banks and other beautiful places. They make more money than those people. If you want to know that, sometimes go back to their country. You go and check, do verification on their accent back home where they came from. You see what they have there. They might look rough, just live low life in wherever they are, but that doesn't mean they are poor. They are not. You understand me? Just look doesn't make you think maybe you wear Louis Vuitton and that doesn't make you look rich or this. There are people, they might look poor, but no, they are not. That's just their lifestyle. They have a lot of access and wealth somewhere.
Chaotic is born in America. You see this in the American way.
Yeah, exactly.
Most money in America are called audio money.
Thank you.
Audio money is like Kanye West money, who call himself a billionaire, $1.7 billion. But when the Jewish people shake him,
Everything disappeared.
Yeah, everything disappeared. In Nigeria, when you talk about Femi Otodola, when you talk about the guy that owns Glow, you talk about Dangote, we talk about real cash now. We say Dangote I want 10 billion, he really want the money. 10 billion.
Hold on. Let me ask this question to Chaotic, guys. Let him speak. So Chaotic, let me ask you this: do you think, even though like people like to say the blacks in America are the richest, do you think blacks in America with like I'm talking the businesses compared to Nigerians, who do you think have more money?
You're saying right now, currently, between
I'm talking currently, like because because you spoke about the banks, right? Black American banks compared to Nigerian banks, because there's a lot of them. They have them in several countries. Even my country in Gambia, they have a lot of Nigerian banks, right? They have them South Africa. They have Nigerian companies. Who do you think have more money?
African American.
Are you serious? Are you sure?
You want me to answer your question?
Okay, Kidola, let him explain. Let him explain. Go ahead. No, let him, because there are, he might be correct, because there are a lot of blacks with money, but I'm talking Nigerian banks. But go ahead.
Let me answer the question.
Okay.
African Americans have a $2 trillion spending power. The entire GDP for Nigeria in 2022.
No, I'm talking about their private banks, what they own in other countries, not only in Nigeria. I'm talking across Africa and in even America and Europe.
You mentioned Nigeria, sir.
No, I'm talking Nigerian companies, because they're not only in Nigeria. They have their banks across Africa and in European countries and even here in the States. That's what I'm talking about. Not the government.
If you're talking about
because if you're saying spending power, right?
Are you going to let me answer your question?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. If you are specifically talking about like an Aliko Dangote, who is in imports and exports, and obviously, yes, the African or the Nigerian is going to win with that one, right? Because we don't have a lot of, as far as my knowledge is concerned, there's not a lot of Black American import exporters, right? But in terms of just capital, Black Americans are winning with capital, because Black Americans have a $2 trillion spending power, and it might even be more than that. Most Africans.
No, but you notice what you said, right?
What are they spending this capital?
You said spending power. Nigeria, for example, right?
Nigeria
has over. Wait. You're comparing over 200 million people. Do you think Black America have more spending power than Nigeria?
Yeah. Do you know what spending power is?
Yes, I do.
Spending power is within your GDP. If your GDP is $400 billion, that means all the spending power is added into that. And what I'm saying is that the USA is the wealthiest country on the planet.
This is true. Guys, I want you to hear what Chaotic is saying. Don't just jump. Allow him to explain, please. He is trying to explain something here. Hear him out.
The average African American makes way more money in a day than some Africans make in an entire month, if not 3 months.
This is true.
That's just a fact. And
because you know what? I'm not. I'm honorary Black. Sometimes in a day, what I make would be way more than someone in Africa.
I just got a question, just one question, and I'll be quiet. One question.
Okay.
One question.
I'm not even done, Afrodamus.
I'm gonna ask Chaotic Black, right? How many Black Americans do you know who can buy a car, like a $100,000 car, cash and walk away?
St. James, that question.
I'm just asking a question. It's a simple question.
St. James. There are many. First of all, you're asking the wrong person.
No, I'm asking you.
St. James, I know dozens right now who could buy a car just cash right now. I have a friend.
Out of the million you just mentioned,
I don't know a million Black
without a credit card, without a loan, like $100,000 cars.
Hey James, here goes the difference between African Americans and any African.
Okay.
The African American has a choice to do that, sir. Most Africans don't have a choice to buy a nice car, sir. Period. Most need
no, but chaotic. You know, St. James is asking you a question here, right? But hold on. Even myself, right? Myself, I'm privy. I know people that I'm related to, right? Literally, what St. James is saying, right? They can come up. What I'm saying, like, I know this to be true. Like, they can literally afford to buy a plane. Like they can afford to buy a plane. I'm telling you this.
Afrodamus, you know I rock with you, but this is beginning to sound really stupid over here. Because the fact of the matter is, if St. James knows all these blacks that can buy a car whole cash, why can't the average Burkinabe and living in Burkina Faso buy a bag of rice? Why can't
all of the people that I know in my country that own a car, they bought them cash. They bought them cash. They don't even have to be millionaires. They bought the car cash. Okay, listen.
That sounds very anecdotal.
Okay. Let me tell you.
Hold on, guys. Let chaotic. You know, because chaotic is saying something also, right? We should hear it because America also, because he said something. He said the Black American, right, has the opportunity to not do the cash. So that's something also.
So we shouldn't be here comparing the two. If that's the if they have that option, listen, can you shut up and let me finish? If the Africans don't have that option, we shouldn't be comparing the two. We shouldn't be comparing the two. So you're sitting here comparing the two. He's been doing that for 30 minutes. So we should not compare the two.
Afrodamus,
okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Afrodamus, but if this not conversation, not comparing African Americans to Africans,
right? Yes, we are.
The fact of the matter is that Afrodamus, Milena playing on this real quick. Burkina Faso, one African country, they're called Burkinabes. Their GDP was $19 billion. Our auto industry in America is $1 trillion, sir. Whether or not
so what you said, right? I don't care what you're saying, right? Because I'm living. I'm here. I've been here for 3 months. I don't even want to come to the state, right? So do you understand what that means for me? I got freedom here. I'm happy. I'm on a vacation for 3 months. You see what I'm saying? I don't even envy the United States, the country that you're living right now. I think I'm doing way better than you here in Africa and Burkina Faso that you're mentioning. I've been here. I was trying to be here for 1 month. I've been living here for 3. You understand that? And I don't even miss the United States. The GDP that you're mentioning, no one's cared about that here in Burkina, man. We're living. We're having the ball, man. So you know what I'm saying? You're not the only one with money. Black American and listen. You were born. Listen, you were born in America, and you feel like this is the end all be all. Everything that you read on the news, right? So you make listen. No, listen. You can read the GDP. You can read the GDP. You can read all you want, right? But I can guarantee you. Listen, chaotic. My house is bigger than yours in Africa.
Oh my goodness.
My house is bigger than you in Africa. My house is bigger than yours. So listen.
Hold on, guys. One at a time.
Afrodamus, hold on for a second, Afrodamus. Now he said his house is bigger than mine, right? I bet you he won't.
It's way bigger than yours. If you want to cam up, we can cam up. Cam up right now, bro.
Afrodamus.
Just cam up. And dude. Afrodamus, make him cam up. Make him cam.
Yeah, hold on, guys. One at a time.
Afrodamus, St. James, hold on. Afrodamus, let me just tell you.
Cam up every time I go live.
Right, you do.
You don't cam up, St. James, please.
Chaotic.
Came up in your house. You came up. Yeah, I do see you. Came up in your house,
dude. I'm an American.
No, came up in your house. I'm in Africa, dude. I'm in Africa, dude. No.
Chaotic. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Chaotic, you have to remember, right? Let's go off of like just what is shown in the media, what St. James is talking about, right? Okay, if you look at like Burkina Faso and what they explain, you might not understand it. St. James is stuck speaking at a place. These people literally have gold in the ground. Wait a minute.
Don't even
They have gold. Like I'm talking, these people literally have gold. They have people walking around with cash in millions of dollars. I don't know if you understand this. That they don't put that on the internet.
That's Apodemos. It's what we call informal market.
Guys, hold on. Guys, allow Chaotic to talk one at a time. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Again, sir, I went to school with Burkinabe. I was very close friends with the Burkinabe.
Right.
Sir, you and I both know, whether it's on TV or not, whether we've been to that shithole or not, that country has always been unstable. They murdered their president, Thomas Sankara, in 85. Blaise Compaoré was a corrupt politician up until
this is true.
Even right now, there was a coup d'etat last year. Now they got a 30-year-old kid running the country. The country is a complete shithole, sir. Let's stop with this and walking on.
Why not? So if it is what it is, right? I get you, right? Whatever that you say, whatever that you say is whatever, right? That's your opinion. I don't care, right? But my house is bigger than yours. How is that then? So you live in the most powerful country in the world, right? But you don't even have a house. You don't have a house. So that means you're a failure. You are a failure, right?
America. You live in a
so you're a failure? Are you a failure?
Whether
are you a failure? I'm asking you a question. Are you a failure?
Don't you understand?
Go back to the topic.
Listen, you talking about listen, Apodemos, you talking about somebody who made president of a country at year 30. You should be happy for that.
He made president because he overthrew the government, sir.
Is he doing a good job? Is he doing a good job?
So that's why he's not doing a good job.
Why? So what do you know? 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 Because you spend your time, right? You spend your time reading the. Listen, you spend your time reading the Western media. I live here. I live here. So that's the difference. You know,
St. James, leave this white man alone, okay? Afrodamos, can we come back to the topic, please?
Afrodamos, look, Chaotic.
Let us come back to the topic.
It seems like you see things in an American way. I understand your background can be Nigeria, but my man, you have never been maybe to Nigeria for a very, very long time, the way you sound.
No, he's not.
And the way you disrespect
disgrace to Nigeria
and other people.
No, sir. Nigeria is a disgrace.
Kidola, today, right? Kidola, today, right?
And I was with my
Nigerians. I was with my Nigerians.
Hold on, guys, one at a time, guys.
Kidola. Today, right? I was with my Nigerian friend.
Can we come back to the topic?
Money here.
No, we are within topic. Here's the thing. Because you know why? Here, hold on. You know why? Because here's the thing. The reason why the blacks feel elevated, right? It's about the wealth, right? So people talk about, the access to wealth. The blacks do have access to wealth, but also people are bringing in things despite the blacks having access to wealth. Majority of this can be in credit, but Africans operate in raw cash. If you don't have the cash,
that's the difference.
Yeah, but in a way, in America, right? In America, you do, if you can utilize it, you have access to the cash.
Exactly.
The blacks do have access to it.
Kidola knows that. James knows that.
Afrodamos, man. Tell your boy to cam up, man. Tell your boy to show his house. I have a bunch of Burkinabes I want to say an American who's been successful in the state. Right. I have Burkinabes here that he mentioned they're poor. They're sitting here. They want to see your house, bro. They want to see how you born. You understand? Because they want to come to the state. I'm here telling them they don't even have to come to the state because they're doing good. You see what I'm saying?
Because you know what? Even here, for example, here, right? In the States, right? I have met for example, let's say Congolese. If you look at Congolese on the media, they would say they are poor. I swear, I have never met a broke Congolese in real life.
Exactly.
I'm
Thank you
just keeping
very
it
much.
real,
They fucking
especially
hate.
in the States here, right? Like, I don't know any broke Nigerian here in America.
I have never
Like,
seen.
I'm just telling you guys the truth.
I've met
I
one.
don't know any broke Nigerian, to be honest. I've never, especially Congolese, I've never met a
I
broke
work with several,
Congolese.
especially
And these
Syrian.
people they are driving
No,
their own supercars. But
yes.
also, I don't want people to believe that all blacks are broke. Like, you're gonna
No,
meet
no, no,
blacks,
no.
right? I've no blacks. You go to some of these neighborhoods, like, these people are living in multi-million-dollar neighborhoods.
Okay. Okay, Afridamos, please. I just want to say one thing, okay? Um, the topic was the can African people say the N word?
The N
Okay?
word, yes.
Yeah.
But
I,
this is all along that
yeah,
way
yeah, yeah.
because,
But
it has something to do with money.
I just want to come back to that
And
topic.
also, I know
No,
Kenyans
no,
that
no.
live in gated
My
communities. I'm
my
just telling you, rich
my
Kenyans here
my
in America.
Afridamos. The American black people have no right to say that word. They
Okay.
have no
I want
right.
to hear you out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, as a
Yeah.
Somali man, I can tell you when the
Okay.
white man
Hmm.
cannot say the Negro or the N word, have I said that? The black man,
But
FBA or the other. No,
let's
no,
be honest.
I'm telling you,
Wait? Have
I'm
you ever
very,
lived in America?
brother, America is a global nation.
No,
We all
because
know.
majority of Africans don't care about saying that word. They really
No, no,
don't.
I don't care. I have never said it. I have never
Yeah,
said my father
Africans
said
don't.
it.
The Africans
You,
do not.
I
I don't know
listen.
Africans that say that word. It
But
is just
now,
blacks that make it
but,
seem like
but
Africans care about
yeah,
this,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't.
But now it's the internet and it's YouTube, and I'm going to tell you, it's only 3 nations which can say the N word. First
Okay.
of all, is Nigeria. The Nigerian can say the N word. Damn it, their
But
country,
but but I
Nigeria.
look. Don't you think? Can I say it? I'm very Nigerian looking.
Oh well, so am I. I
No, no,
look
no,
like
no. Look,
Ethiopian.
yeah, but what I'm saying,
Hmm?
if I tell you I'm Nigerian, you cannot deny it.
They can't.
Kidola,
They
Kidola,
can't.
you see me, right? Kidola,
Hey,
Yeah.
my
Kidola. If
friend.
I tell you I'm Nigerian, Kidola, if I didn't say if I say I'm Nigerian, would you deny it?
No. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't deny it.
Like
Also,
UFC fan, you in Nigeria,
I
UFC.
don't. I
If I
don't
told you
deny it.
I'm Nigerian, would you deny it by looking at
No, I
me?
don't deny
No,
it.
no, no, no.
You are a Gambian from West Africa. You can be Nigerian. Ghana
Yeah,
can be whatever.
some
I mean, I'm
you know,
from
like,
Somalia. I can be
Because in
Ethiopian.
you
I
know
Nigeria
can
there
be
what,
are
Duali?
Sudanese.
I
there
met,
are
in
people who look
fact,
like
I had a conversation, right? I met some Nigerian people. They're from northern Nigeria. And they told me, in fact, we are from the same tribe, but they're from Nigeria. Like, the languages, the accents are different, but these people, their accent, the Soninke accent, I spoke with them. Their accent is the same as mine. We
Oh, so you're
spoke
proud.
exactly the same
Proud.
language, and they're from Nigeria.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
are Soninkes in Nigeria,
Okay.
but most Nigerians probably don't even know this.
The second nation is Niger. Oh, Niger also. So it's also Niger. It's a
You
nigger.
see,
The
my brother,
third one, this is trolling.
Africanos, look,
Yeah.
Give
look,
me just 1 second. Just and I will be out. The second one, which can say nigger, is the Somali people.
What?
Why? Yes. Why?
Wait,
Yeah,
Somali, we are the blacks are from us.
yeah. But
Okay, but go ahead.
I just want to tell you something.
Okay, I want to hear this.
When I say me or the I or the I say anika, nika, anika. Yeah, this is just to make fun, okay? 3 people can just say the Negro word: Niger, Nigeria, and the Somalian. These
No,
African people, these
see,
are
you don't
black
need
people
to,
in America
you don't need
who
to
are
include
saying
Somali.
the
Somali
nigger.
don't look anything black. Sorry.
No, it's not the look, man. It's the word.
Wait, Duali, but
What I
Duali,
say,
that's Duali, but that's crazy because think about it. The
it's
blacks, right?
crazy. It's
Hold
crazy.
on, but the blacks, right?
It's crazy.
Okay, if us were the blacks, because you know they are from West and Central Africa,
come on, bro.
they are directly like the blacks can literally find
come
their
on.
relatives where we come from. If
I-
we
I
cannot
am-
wait, if we cannot say it,
No, if
certainly
you are
Somalis
Nigerian, you
can.
can say.
Chaotic and hold on. Let's allow blacks who defy. Blacks who defy. What do
How
you think about what he's saying?
How can you
Imagine
say,
blacks who
no,
defy,
no,
right?
How can
Blacks
you
who
say?
defy.
How can you say?
You
How
wait,
can
wait,
you
wait,
say
wait, wait,
I?
wait.
No, I
Black,
don't.
wait.
I'm
Hold
just
on, Duali.
No, I'm
Duali,
just
wait.
giving you just one
What are you
question.
asking?
How can you say I in your language?
What?
How can you say I or the me?
In my language?
In your language.
Okay.
Okay,
In my language, it's called Nke.
In
So
my
what's your
language
question?
is Anika.
Okay. So, but you see, for example, like let's say blacks who defy, his ancestors are from probably close to where the area I'm from. If I cannot send the N word, you certainly can't. Hold on, let's allow him to talk.
I'm
Let
just
him
saying
talk.
this for fun. No one is allowed to say N word.
Oh no!
The
The white man cannot monopolize this. We the Negroes, we
fuck
will
the
say
N,
this
fuck
word.
the white man. The white man call us N. Now, why do we accept him?
But you see, they didn't call the people from the Horn as Negroes. They called us the Negroes.
But why do we worry
But
about
we
what they
have,
call us?
hey, my, this is the problem, okay?
Look, it's the scientific. Look, our scientific race is the Negroid.
No.
It's not a derogatory thing. We are Negroids.
We have never, ever
Afrodama, I
separate
don't know why
you
you are.
from the
The Somali
African.
person experience is different from a sub-Sahara or West African person experience.
Right.
So the Somali people have never actually been colonized like that or be dealt with like the way.
No, Kidola. Even the Somalis. In fact, I'm gonna do a show on this.
Somalians
You
have
know, the
different.
Somalis, even they they were getting slaves from Somalia. I'm gonna do a show on this.
No, Afridamos. This is problem. When you say that,
The Somalis were selling the Bantus, just so you know.
So what I'm trying to say.
Oh my God!
So Afrodama, what I'm trying to say is this:
No.
this the Somali guy try to. It's a real big problem there. You see, Afrodamos, Black Americans.
Somebody is echoing.
Somebody's echoing.
Judah, can you mute?
Sometimes you call us white, sometimes you call Arabs, but we still Somali, we still
hold
African.
on,
Just the
hold on.
tribe that you are, as Sinugo or the whatever in Gambia, we are one tribe in Africa.
Afrodamos, the same problem we have also with the Kenyans and the Ugandans coming into the matter of this slave swap official. The East Africans actually they don't know much about this Atlantic slave trade because they were more dealing with the Arabs. You understand me? That's why they have the Arabs mixed
now we
inside
change
with them.
the topic, huh?
You understand me? So West Africa's matter, which connect to the Africans that they brought to United States, even is not in our conscious mind, but we know a lot about it. And I think the West the West.
No. You know, Kidola, the truth is like, even though we talk about this, but if you come to America, you see the blacks, like Black who defy, he's American, right? But the truth is, we are from West Africa. When you see him, first you're gonna think he's from where you come from. You're not gonna be confused. You will know.
Yeah, but
for a fact.
Yeah, but the culture, the culture.
It's like the cultural difference, but when you see, like, if you look at blacks who defy, his picture right now, looking at it,
I saw him, so
Yeah, he's very West African,
when I
West
tried to
Central
say,
African.
when Chaotic started talking about the money aspect, right? What I
Right.
try to say is this: yes, Black
I've gotten
Americans
that
are
all my life.
the Black Americans are former. There are about 40 million of them there. They will be the most richest there. But the problem there is also the blacks there, the billionaires there, are not really spreading the wealth to
This
the
is true.
honorary Black Americans.
Right.
But Dangote is employing people, spreading the wealth. The Africans in United States, most of them are sponsoring families in Africa, building houses for themselves, helping families to go to school. So they also spreading the wealth. My brother Chaotic, I think you mistaken something somewhere. What is wealth? Wealth is where you can own your own place and own your territory, not by loans, not by this audio money, like what happened to Kanye West. I bet you all these billionaires you call billionaires, they are just audio billionaires. Let something happen right now. That 8 billion will turn to 100 million.
Hold on, guys.
Fine.
I
think
live here. Like I've
Idola
been
is
living
right.
here for 3 months, right?
Recently, there's a news that Black Americans, they want to buy BET. They are still trying to put the money together. I don't believe BET will cost more than maybe 1.5 billion or $2 billion or so. They are not be able to meet up with that deal. If they have this so-called money, I think they should have closed
Because
that
because here's the thing. Online you would hear people say this, but you're right. The point you're bringing, I get it. America is a rich country, but I want to separate that from individuals. Like, this is the reason why I'm giving Somalis as example. Somalis, you cannot quantify their money, but they have a lot of money here in America. I've seen it with my own eye because I do business with them.
No, the country is broke. It's a shit
I
hole.
do business with them. I know they have lots of money.
Afrodamos, let me tell you, the country is fucking shit hole. It's broke, but people are fucking rich.
I know. Look, you don't have to tell me. I do business. I do business with them. I've never.
We agree on that part, though. We agree on that part.
The country is a
like
shit
we
hole.
said,
Let me
we
tell
got
you
people.
one thing. Let me tell you, as a Somali
Let
man,
me finish
as a
just
Somali
one
man.
sentence. One sentence, and you talk. I live here right now, right, for 3 months. Afrodamus, I know people here who own banks by themselves. It's not like I heard of them. I know people here. I can give you the information. We can do a show on it. They own bank by themselves, and I know these people. You understand? So it's not like we're here calling this live and lying like Chaotic is doing. He's looking at African country through the lens of America. He's coming with GDPs and he's coming all this tough word like you can impress.
You know what, St. James? I think chaotic is mostly talking about the average African. Because he's saying the argument he's making, right? The argument he's making is he's saying that yes, if you bring high performing Africans, sure they would prevail. But he said if Africa, like the countries were close to the US and anyone can just cross over like the South Americans, then you would find out it's different.
I can understand that argument.
That's what he's saying.
The point I was trying to make, he stayed quiet when you told him you came here. Most of the Africans that live in America are checking $60,000 a year. You see what I'm saying? And he didn't give you a rebuttal. And I'm like, okay, you talk about African American making billions, and I put on the chat 400 years to make a billions. In 2050, by 2050, many Africans in America will be making billions. If we follow the trends, it's easy money. They know how to get to the money. Most immigrants.
I see. You know what? I agree with you. I see the trajectory.
The trajectory is there for you to see. You see what I'm saying?
In fact, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to show shows about African millionaires in America.
I'll
Before you
send you a
go on,
link
can I
like
say
3 months.
something?
I'll send you. I sent you a link. I sent you a link. I sent
That
you a
point.
link 3 months ago. I sent you a link
Oh, I
3
have
months
it.
ago.
I know the Burkina woman.
Absolutely. Show that to chaotic, man. It's running circle on you, man. From
Forget
Burkina Faso, they're
Berting. This
millionaires.
is
Come
it's a
on, man.
white guy, okay?
Come on.
Forget him. Forget
And
him.
chaotic. I saw your chat, right? You said what? You can leave in your car and outperform me. I live in America, man. You can't even get you. I leave you behind in
I
America and in
believe you.
Africa if you want it.
I believe
I
you, my
leave you
brother.
behind. Listen. I didn't come here because my parents were in America. I came by myself, and like
Yes,
you,
I
you see
believe
what I'm
you.
saying?
I believe
You
you.
came because your
Yes.
parent came to the states. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Me and you, we different. We saw different. But I'm
No,
not.
no,
Listen, you see, people like you, right? People like you, like people like chaotic, right? When we came to America, they gave us the drive to be better. That's why I like to talk to them because when Africans came to the state, right, we were not scared of Black Americans. Everything that they say, we break that myth. We were like, nah, they're good. They got money. Yeah, we get it. But we good too. We went to working. You see what I'm saying? And we got close to Black American. They're afraid of us because we know how to do it. So don't be here talking about, yeah, we know.
Bullshit.
I know the top
Yes.
1% of Black Americans that live in America, they
Yes.
got money. They got all the fame and everything. We got it. But the average Black American, man, nah, man, that's not the case here, man.
Afridamos,
Let's be honest.
Afridamos, Afridamos, can you give me just 1 minute, please?
Go
Please.
for it. And
Okay.
then please allow blacks with the fight to
Yes,
speak
yes.
too.
I just want to tell you this. This is between the Africans in Africa and the whole world. There is a complete different things between the Somali government and the Somali people. You know, Somalia was like 22 years old when it's collapsed. Okay, it's 1960, 1988, 1991. Say whatever that you say, as a experiment from the north and south to come together and maintain one country. It failed. Okay, we all know that. But the Somali people from Djibouti, Ogaden, Somalia, dude, they're rich, okay? And we are the only the only country or the only people.
Hold on. You
When the
know,
white
let
no
me
no
tell
no,
you
no
this example, right? Hold on. I want you to answer this. There's a visionary of love said Somalian are suffering in Somalia. Why do they need Western help if their brothers here are so rich? I think I can answer that. Visionary of love, you have to remember some of the politicians, there's going to be people who would do scamming.
Okay,
They might put this up to make it seem like they want to help people, but they need that money
you know,
scam.
you know,
But I'm just gonna the Somalis I've met here, they got money.
I can tell you the
Afrodemus,
problem.
Afrodemus.
Just let me
Please,
finish.
let Chaotic know
Please
this.
let
That
me finish.
Hold on. Let this guy explain.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
When the British came to Somalia, we have not allowed them to come into our territory, into our land. Actually, the elders met the British people in sea, in this Road Sea, and we have an agreement. Them, okay, you want to protect? Okay, no problem. But no white person is going to be buried here. No white person is going to be also born here. This is the Somaliland or the North Somalia, what they did. This is a well-known history, right? We are the only African people who kept their shores, their seas, their land. And when it comes to 23 October
How do you
1991,
know that though? How do you know that? Why? How do you know that? You're the only Black people. How do you know that?
I know that because this is
How
my
do you
history,
know that? How do you know that?
because
You
it's
know
written,
everybody
man.
else's history. Do you know everybody else's history?
You can write. You can Google it right now.
Dude, man, you can say you kept your shore, you kept your everything, but don't
We
compare to
kept.
other Africans.
We
That's
kept.
wrong. You don't know
No,
other
no.
people's history.
Okay. You can tell me other people history. I'm
No,
telling
no,
you
no, no.
my
Just
history.
speak on Somali. Don't compare to other African countries. You don't
No,
know
no,
none of
I'm
them.
not. I'm not comparing anything. I'm telling you my history, my friend. You can tell me yours. Why are you so angry?
No, you said you are the only African country that kept it.
We kept our history. Okay. I'm telling you my history. You tell me yours.
No,
Let
no,
me
no,
finish.
no,
Let me
no.
finish. Let me. Why you get so angry all the time when I say I touch
No,
my
I'm not
land?
angry. No, listen, we all Africans here.
We all Africans. You are my brother.
So
Okay.
just speak on your country.
I
That would
respect
be
you.
good.
I'm speaking my country. And the second thing, when we talk about Black Hawk Down, okay? What are you? What do you do that, man? Yeah. 23 October 1991. They say you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Yeah.
The government,
Okay,
it's the government,
Africanus.
it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's
Alright.
the government, the government, the government,
Now I know.
the government,
Okay.
it's the government, it's the government, the government,
So
the
you guys have
government,
problem
it's
with
the government,
Somalis,
it's the government,
Afrikaners,
it's the
right?
government, the government, the government. The government, it's the government, it's the government, the government,
Bro,
the
Afridamos,
government,
I'm
it's the
Muslim. I can
government.
watch this. Afridamos, please respect me. I respect you.
Man, that
No,
is
no,
hilarious.
it's the government.
No,
It's the
no, please,
government.
please don't do that music. That's
No, sir.
different.
Sir, that music is needed. Can we allow blacks
I
who
don't need
decide
that.
to
I don't
talk?
need that. I don't
You
need
know,
that. I don't.
look, we don't want to over dominate it. We
No,
gotta allow the blacks to talk.
I
Blacks
don't
who
respect.
decide. Go ahead.
I don't
Oh,
respect.
man, it's hilarious. I'm
Yeah,
just
we gotta allow the blacks to talk
But
too. Go ahead, black.
I have no dog in the fight concerning what went on in Somalia versus any other African country on that continent. Uh, it's just funny. You hear people talk about anecdotal situations about themselves, you know, how rich they are versus how poor someone
Right.
else is. And whatever, you know, if you're rich, then by all means be rich.
Isn't it
But
relative? Do you think it's more subjective?
I think it's more subjective than it
Right.
is than it is objective,
Right.
because of course, you know, I'll just use in small terms, you know, the same tube of toothpaste here that may cost me $10. It'll, because like you said, or like my goodness, like Chaotic said, what the GDP is in Nigeria and in some other countries out there in Africa, that same tube of toothpaste will be $1.
Right.
You know, it's highly subjective in that case. But when we're talking about wealth, you made a great point. I'm talking about the access to wealth here in America versus access to wealth there. You in that continent, in the continent of Africa, in different places, you talked about how there's gold in the ground. And the
Right.
question is, who are the brokers? Who brokers the gold? Who brokers the diamond?
That's a good question.
It's a paperweight, and it's a paperweight if you can't get it sold. That's it. Hence, people purchasing, people you know, risking their lives doing artisanal mining for rare earth and other materials for you know, the machinery built in China and in America, and they get pennies on the dollar, half pennies on the dollar, to risk their lives in those different mines that they dug by hand with, and most times you get caved in on, etc. And then they have a middleman to sell their stuff to, and in their
You know
regard,
what? Blacks who defy. Thanks for showing your you know you want to come here and show your American superiority. But continue on.
hey, listen, I am American, yes, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm proud of anybody else who comes here and decides that they want to be American. I want them.
That's right.
I want them to succeed. I don't want anybody to not succeed. I don't have any malice toward anyone who gets in here and does their duty and decides to become successful, man. I live in a neighborhood full of Nigerians, man. Nigerians and people from Cameroon. My neighbor is from Cameroon, and they work their asses off to maintain their households. My other Nigerian neighbor, he does Toro. He has like 8 cars, and he works a job that pays him $75,000 a year. My other Nigerian friends owns a Sweetwater Cafe, and he owns a couple other things, you know. But he utilizes credit for that. He didn't pay cash for what he has. And but on the contrary, he's a bleeding heart liberal, if you can believe it.
I'm not. Look, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he is. I'm always arguing him down. It's hilarious. And he's pure blood Nigerian. He came here when he was 15 years old, and then he worked.
Yeah, so he's black. He black.
I'm saying this guy came from Nigeria. You know what I mean? Like, this guy came here 15, 16 years old, worked for McDonald's for like 20 years, became a manager, retired from McDonald's in corporate, and then opened up his own businesses, etc. But my point is,
Black Sudi 5. What do you think about what Deuces of Gold wrote here? And thank you for the super chat. He said resources will be manufactured in Africa soon. Africa is industrializing, and the USA government is on the next one. So do you think what do you think will happen if Africa decides to manufacture? Because for me, right, what
if
I
they
know
decided
is,
to manufacture,
like in the USA, right?
Yeah,
I think if the product is good, people will buy it. Americans don't give a damn.
Well, I'll pose this question. They have Nigerian car manufacturers. I've been seeing
innocent.
Yeah. They're not selling in mass. You know, I see them. I went to I remember when they started a couple of years ago, and I tried to go on.
How much does it cost to get one of those cars?
At the time, to purchase some sort of this SUV hybrid that I wanted to purchase, I can't remember the name of it. At the time, they were talking about $60,000 American dollars.
Oh, that's a lot.
But it wasn't in production. I don't even know what it would cost to import it. But the point that I'm making is that, you know, I was just trying to get my hand at something that was made by someone from the continent. And I'm not saying that there's plenty of production happening there. But access is what they need. That's the question. That's the grand question. How do you achieve access? That's all. These guys have plenty of resources: rubber, cotton,
coltan,
all the minerals,
oil,
everything,
gas.
but can't mobilize it. And you'll also find, like everybody knows, that the majority of the leaderships there, the people in power there. But
don't you think more and more Africans waking up, right? Let's say if more and more Congolese wake up, right?
Perhaps. They've been war torn for how many 100 years, or for 100 years?
It's at least 100 years now.
So I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know if they're waking up.
So what if they wake up, right? And manufacture, because coltan, all of that is down there in the Congo.
If they were to do that, we'd see an explosion of wealth.
So like Ducey said, USA government is on our necks on your behalf.
It's not just,
but your time is up.
It's not, and I hope so, man. It's listen, man. I don't care either way, brother. My thing is, it's not just America, and we see that it's everybody has their hands in the cookie jar. The problem, which has persisted for the last 100 or 200 years on that continent, is that there are too many people willing to sell out their people. Too many people who concentrate power at the top, and then they become either warlords or presidents who live for 40 years in power, and they don't even have a home there. They live in, I don't know, Switzerland, or they live in France. They don't
Oh
maintain.
man, are you bad mouthing Cameroonian president, sir?
No, I'm just stating the facts.
Are you saying
I'm saying that he got
Cameroonian
what he got.
president is a sellout, Paul Biya?
I'm saying that he got what he
Oh
got.
man, are you trying to piss off Judah?
I say he got what he got, and everybody else, Judah knows I love him. He got what they got what they got, and other people.
Hey, hold on, Black Sudify. You know his president fled their country to go live in a Switzerland village.
Yeah, and he's isn't he a billionaire?
Oh yeah, he spends 40,000 a month.
Off the backs of his people. I'm just saying, and he has a security detail.
You know what? Black Sudify. Me, I would never badmouth Paul Biya, the president of Cameroon, who lives in a Switzerland village. And I would never say the Cameroonians are weak. You did not hear this from me. And you know what? Don't you dare try to put this on me, sir.
That's hilarious. No, my brother's in Africa right now. I don't know exactly where. Don't ask me. I know he's shooting some film out there, and he went to some village, wherever, out in the bush, and they were told.
Wait, will you say the Cameroonians are weak for?
Oh, I didn't say that. You said that, sir.
I'm just asking.
Oh my goodness! Would I say
and
that
hold on, Ducey said FBS are all. He said FBS are only wealthy thanks to Zadi deleting Africans and stealing our resources. As soon as Africa get free, FBS will be done. They will be broke.
I mean, I hope so. I hope that your goal comes to fruition. I'm not here to argue down opposing thoughts. They can have their thoughts. And I'm not for or against any of that. I'm just stating the facts, man. That's all. And
hey, the facts are real,
And that's all. Somebody's really.
I think Judah want to respond. Let's let him.
Go ahead, Judah. Yes.
Go ahead, Judah.
Why am I going to respond, man? I mean, Black
Judah, hold on, Judah. How do you feel? Blacks is coming here, bad mouthing, exposing how Paul Biya is taking you guys' money, living in Switzerland. What do you say to this?
See, man, it seems like on this panel, you guys go around and come back. I mean, I was just sitting down and listening to all these people going back.
No, but Judah, we cannot pretend like that didn't happen.
Let me finish. Look, Africa is the weakest people in the world. Like people.
Damn, Judah, why you gotta badmouth us, Judah? We need encouragement, man. Damn, man. Are you saying we are weak niggas?
But let me tell you, man. Even some of the time, I'm scared telling people I'm from Africa, bro. It's a disgrace. Like when you see people on the continent, like Cameroonian, Nigerian, all these countries, man. Like it's just we do a lot of talking, no actions behind it. What Solidify? I mean, he was probably sugarcoating, but sometimes I align with chaotic truth because these are the kind of people that look, when I listen to chaotic,
why you align with chaotic? Why you align with chaotic?
Because hey, look, we want to come here and say, "Oh, Africa is where."
No, we got the French. Why you guys don't do nothing about the French? Why you don't do anything about the French, dude?
Bro, let me finish, man. You guys were going back and forward talking. I was listening, man. Let me talk. Allow me talk. This is the thing. Africans leave their homeland, come to America to make money. Most of them don't go back home. Like I'm telling you for a fact, when they go back home, they don't stay for that long and they come back to America. And this is the thing we want to say, oh, we have all this power. We don't have nothing, man. We have empty pride. Pride that does not matter. Sometimes Africans need to humble themselves and say, we really need to heal. We really need to heal because Africa is dusty. You go to every country in Africa, the only problem that they have, you might see one or two cities. They tell you about, you go to Cameroon, they tell you about Douala, Yaoundé. Apart from that, neighboring cities is all dusty. You go to every country, it's like that. We don't have
no infrastructure.
I'm telling you, no infrastructure. We don't have nothing. All these presidents that we have are imbeciles, lunatics, and all they work for the coons. It might be Cameroonian, it might be Nigerian.
Just the fact that a French country has problem, it doesn't mean other countries that do not speak French do not have problems. The worst country was Ghana going to IMF asking for money. It goes year round. It's a recycle. We don't have nothing. We have presidents coming in power. They leave. The next person comes in. It's the same thing. You're gonna look, man. Look,
Judas,
Africans.
Judas,
Let me talk, man. Let me talk.
Judas,
You guys
say
were
not
talking back and
we,
forth.
say I. You are
No,
not
no, you
African, you
guys,
are
man. 'Cause,
Israelis,
I
man.
mean, well, sometimes I align with chaotic, and this is the thing. People want to beat down on
But
Somalia,
you
have
are
those things.
Israelis, man.
Let me finish talking, young man. You shut up and stay quiet. You probably don't know me on this panel, man. I've been on this
You
panel for
are
so
not
long.
African, you
Well,
are Israelis, man.
well, cool
Look,
down. I won't even be on your side and say people want to look down on you guys, but at the same time,
hey,
the whole Africa is in this
you are
shithole.
from Israel, man. You are not from Africa. What the hell
I'm
you
gonna
talking
let you
about?
talk, man. You stay ahead. So I'm sure you
Stop
were one of those
shaming
Arab
Africa,
guys that
man.
had a family and gave birth to you guys anyway.
One time you
So,
say
but
I'm from Israel, I'm Israeli African. One time, hey, stop this nonsense, man.
hey, Afidemus, can you take this guy off when I'm talking? Let me have a floor for a little minute, man.
I'm
Can you
quiet.
put him in the back chat? Look, see, this is the thing, right? Africans need to humble themselves and listen to what chaotic truth is saying. Even solidify black. I mean, I talk with him one on one. He's not a brother that I'm gonna come and bash, man. But what Paul Biya is doing is the same thing most of these African countries are doing. If Paul Biya is sending the world to Switzerland, right? But look at Cameroon. Cameroon is not among the most poorest country in Africa, if you say so. The countries that are not sending their wealth to Switzerland and all those, they still behind Cameroon. I'm asking myself, okay, if French is taking so much from these French African countries, how comes the English countries are not doing better as well? How comes they are still third world countries? How comes their cocoa and all these industries is being run in Europe? How comes their currency is being backed by European currency? How comes they don't have nothing going for themselves? How comes they still elect old presidents who cannot stand head and head, face to face, to speak with Putin? Man, come on. You go to Russia, you go to Europe, you have Germany. You come to North America, you have America. You go to Asia, you have China. Which African president can stand one on one and speak to these people, man? And we want to come down here and say, oh, Africa is this, we have banks. Come on, bro. I'm done, man. Afidemos, thank you for
Jude,
letting
I'm
me
just
come in your
okay.
panel.
You coming
Jude,
from Cameroon, right? Let me
You are
let me
wrong.
respond.
Joe
Let me
Biden,
respond to Jude for 1 second
Joe Biden fell
because he's from the.
recently, few days ago. He
Can
fell
I
recently.
speak to Jude? Jude, that was 6 months ago when I came here, right? I tried to talk to you about the francophone problems with the CFA.
Right.
You talk shit on me, right? And you and your countrymen, you said no, Cameroon is better than the rest of us. You guys don't have those kind of issues. St. James, you need to be quiet and get the F out of here. That's what you said. And the other
Bro,
girl from Cameroon, that's what you said. No, Judy. You
Thank
listen to
you,
me.
my
Listen to
friend.
me. That's what you said. And
wait,
I
you
kept
did not
quiet.
listen to me. Well,
I kept quiet. Even you said the CFA that you guys use in Cameroon is much stronger than the one that we use here, like Mali, Burkina, and Ivory Coast. That's what you said. I remember
okay,
that
let me
conversation we
explain,
had.
right?
No.
You
Let
fail
me
to
finish.
understand that
I'll
all
let you
Africans
finish.
have a
I'll let
problem.
you finish, right? Let
Go
me just
ahead.
tell you, right? If you say we
What
have
I'm
to
saying
get
is you
together,
fail
right?
to
Like,
understand that
listen.
Africans have a problem.
If
It's not
you
just
don't
Cameroon,
want to,
it's Burkina
if you
Faso, it's every country in
I
Africa.
get your point, Jude. If you want to help out, right? What Burkina and Mali is doing right now is something that you guys need to
Bro,
come
you
through.
guys can
You guys
change
need to.
government in Burkina Faso often. Nothing is gonna change in Burkina Faso. That's what I'm
Okay.
telling you. Your
Jude,
country is weak. You cannot
Jude,
do anything. That's what
again
I'm
and
saying.
again.
It's the same.
You
It's the
see
same
the problem
problem in
with you. You're not
Cameroon. It's
listening.
the same problem in
The
Nigeria. It's the
problem
same
you're not
problem in
listening.
Burkina Faso.
You're
You
not
can
listening. That's the
recycle.
problem.
You can.
You're
No,
not
the
listening.
problem is you can recycle those things. You think
You
your
cannot.
country is changing
You're
because
not.
you are changing people. It
You're
doesn't make
not
sense.
listening.
Your
You're not
system is
listening.
still gonna be.
You're not listening.
Go ahead.
You're not listening. That's the problem that you have. You're not listening.
St. James, I'm not
We
gonna let
already
you talk
laid
down,
out
man.
the problem. We already laid out the problem All you guys need to do is to come together. You already got the people who want to be in the front. That's the problem, right? Africa has that problem. Nobody wants to be in the front. You got these people who want to be in the front. All you need to is just come along. Come along. Because you guys don't want to do anything. You guys want to talk.
Let me tell you, I have a Burkina Faso friend. Let me finish. I have a Burkina Faso friend here that in Utah, right? This is what he tells me. He tells me that I asked him, I said, the new guy that came in power, Traore, is he doing good? He said, yes, he is doing good. I said, but how long is he gonna take to change the language, French to Burkina Faso language? He said it's not gonna be something that we can do automatically. I say, how long is he gonna take to change away France CFA immediately and wipe it out and come on with Burkina? He said it's not gonna be something that they're gonna do immediately. I'm like, so what the heck did he come in power for?
He's living there right now, right? So, Jude,
yet
you said
take you so long to change that system. It makes no sense.
He lived there. You said he lived there, right? Right now. You said he lived there right now, right?
I'm talking about this Burkina guy that lives here in Utah, yeah.
Okay, I'm here right now.
But what is changing?
You see, your F-boy African Union, your F-boy ECOWAS, the bunch of nobody are making sure nobody moves in Africa.
And that's the problem that we Africans have. That's what I'm saying. You're coming back to my point that all Africans have a problem.
Have you heard about the new front that's been created? Have you heard about the new front that's been created?
Man, look, what has changed though? That's what I'm saying. What is the impact? Are you guys
money? They're already studying it, dude. Jude,
see, and this is the thing. A lot of talking, no action. When is it gonna be ready? That's the point that I want to know.
The government in my country, no. The government in my country is a transition government. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem they have. The ECOWAS want to get rid of it. ECOWAS, listen, Jude, ECOWAS want to get rid of him because they are military. They want to get rid of him. Everything they're trying to do, they want to stop it. You see what I'm saying? So they're working on it, but the ECOWAS is making sure they don't move with the project. Other countries fell back. Ivory Coast fell back. You see what's going on in Senegal?
I see what is happening in Senegal. Sonko, he's been put in jail. But
who's backing Sonko? Do you know who's backing Sonko?
Who is backing Macky Sall? The French is backing Macky Sall.
But you know who's backing Sonko right now? Mali and Burkina Faso is backing Sonko because they want Sonko to win.
Right.
Where is Cameroon? Where is Gabon? Where is Cameroon? Where is Gabon? You guys are not even
listen to me. This is a
oh my God.
Even if Sonko in Senegal comes in power, nothing will change in Senegal. This is the problem.
Nigeria has
a new president today. Do you think Nigeria will change? No. Nigeria will remain the same Nigeria. People will keep living in Nigeria.
The circumstances are not the same. That's the part that you're not listening.
But nothing will change. You can recycle these people. You can recycle Africans. But the system is not changing because
you lost hope, right? So you telling me you lost hope. So there is nothing. So you lost hope.
You lost hope.
Africans do not know what the system is.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. You lost hope.
Africans believe in recycling people.
Are you African or are you Israeli?
Africans believe in. St. James, let me finish.
No, Jude. So I didn't know you lost hope. If you lost hope, that's fine. We can stop. That's fine.
Just one question. Are you African or are you Israeli Bantu?
What the heck are you talking about? Africa is a whole mess. Be it Somalia, be it North, be it West. But this is the thing. Africans, they believe that recycling people is the best thing on the continent. But they don't believe that the system is the thing that needs to change. You can
guys are working on a new system. They're working. They're working on a new system. I want you to listen to that.
How long will Africans take to change a system? How long you keep hearing people say, "Oh, they are working, they are working"?
As we speak right now, most African government. I don't know about Cameroon. I can give you 3 countries.
Nigeria is a